Yeah, so I feel like Jim Cantori right now, walking around out here in a tropical storm. Elsa has arrived. As you can see, we have got a little bit of flooding issues. Nothing too bad. Yeah, so I feel like Jim Cantori right now.
Oh, we got a report there from Darien, Georgia. More people will be saying something just like that as Elsa crashes summer plans on the East Coast. The second landfalling tropical system of the year has made a mess in Florida and Georgia and now has its sights set on the early part of your weekend.
And we are tracking storm alerts from one end of the I-95 corridor to the other until 1 o'clock today. Thank you for staying in tune so you can stay informed. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCullum. Summer storms, major flooding, and of course Elsa is making a messy Thursday as you prepare for the weekend.
All right, so from the Tar Heel State to Hampton Roads up to Beantown, Elsa will bring a host of problems as we round out this first full week of July.
And it's not just those beach communities that will get walloped by the wind and the rain. This storm will crash inland parties as it links up with another system moving in from the west. The center of Elsa is bringing that torrential rain to the Carolinas. The power outage situation is improving in Georgia and South Carolina. Just over 17,000 customers are offline at this hour. Tropical storm warnings extend north into parts of the mid-Atlantic and New England. PSE&G is preparing crews for Elsa's arrival tomorrow as it works to restore power to remaining customers from yesterday's thunderstorms. So, Jen, it's not just Elsa when it comes to the Northeast. We've had 2 days of thunderstorms that have done some damage in the Northeast, and then here comes Elsa.
And the winds from those storms were stronger than what you're going to feel from this tropical system. The thing with the tropical system is the winds are just nonstop, and we've got that risk of tornadoes spinning up, plus the heavy rainfall. So those three threats are with us. Here's a look at where that tropical rain is right now, pretty much covering the entire eastern part or eastern 2/3 of the state of North Carolina. South Carolina looking better at the moment in terms of the rainfall, but we still have some gusty winds across the area. Look at Charleston gusting to 30, Myrtle Beach gusting to 38 miles per hour. But watching Jackie Jarris this morning there in Myrtle Beach and seeing how the winds actually have been increasing a little bit even now after all of that rain has pushed through. There is a tornado watch, and this is in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. This includes around Wilmington, Kinston, Morehead City, parts of the Outer Banks were under that as well. It does not include Raleigh and the Triangle area. However, that's just off to your east where we do have that concern. Watching into these outer bands, that's where you see the risk of spinouts happening. And right now, I don't see any active tornado warnings. However, this is something that, excuse me, that could change very rapidly and that we'll have to keep an eye on. The rainfall extends all the way back across parts of the western part of the state, including in Charlotte and Greensboro. It's much lighter out here, and you're actually a little closer to the circulation center, but the bulk of the weather has been so far removed from the center and so well off to the east, and that's where we're really getting some of the steadiest and heaviest rainfall. So on the move right now, we're watching this rain. We do have some power outages. We've seen that around the Charlotte area, but also especially from Charleston, where what a mess of an overnight that we had there with numerous tornado warnings. Speaking of tornado warnings, we had one earlier in the Myrtle Beach area, and that's where we find our meteorologist, Jackie Jarris. Jackie, just saw your winds actually increase even more. So what's it like out there?
It's not the worst out here right now, but it's still not the best. In fact, I just had to turn around and change direction, Molly, because I lost my hat and I couldn't even hear you because the winds were gusting that strong. So now I've got the wind in my back. We're still getting gusts 35 to 40 miles per hour. But check it out. Do you see that? We've got a couple of breaks in the clouds, so a little bit of blue skies. But if you look down the beach the other direction, you can see the pier down here, but also the much darker skies. So that is Elsa working her way northward out of South Carolina and into North Carolina, where we'll continue to cause all kinds of issues with heavy rain, still that tornado threat, along with the gusty winds. So the winds continue to be an issue. It's blowing the sand up the beach right now, and it's keeping the ocean really, really rough. We've got double red flags flying here in Myrtle Beach, meaning the water is closed. Come on out here and have a good time. Look at these folks. They're having a great time. They're back out after staying inside all morning long because of our extreme weather. We had 54-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We had a tornado warning. In fact, our crew had to seek shelter during that tornado warning to keep ourselves safe. And we had a lot of lightning. You know, tropical storms have a lot more lightning in them than hurricanes do. And lightning is a danger. It is a threat. It can be deadly. So take that very seriously. Now, the concern going forward here in Myrtle Beach is that things are going to get better, which sounds like a good thing. But when the sunshine comes out and folks want to get out there and hit back into that water, that's a no-go, because the rip current risks continue to stay very, very high. And that's not just going to be today. It's likely going to be an issue at least the next 2 days. So whenever you have that ocean churning up in a tropical system, this thing's going to end up getting back offshore eventually into the mid-Atlantic, and those waves can propagate. So we'll still have to watch for that even as we head into the weekend with some spotty showers and thunderstorms. But in the meantime, the worst is over with. We still have a few issues, but play it smart, and we're going to be okay here in Myrtle Beach. And Molly, the good news is also that we had at one point over 2,000 people without power. That has now been restored to almost each and every person. I think there's like 39 people still without power. Back to you.
Well, situation certainly improving in Myrtle Beach. Thank you, Jackie. And the wind really whipping around Jackie there out in Myrtle Beach. But we do see Elsa lifting out of Myrtle Beach and into North Carolina now. But behind that, a mess of local storm reports. Just look how many as Elsa makes landfall just around the Cedar Key area, all the way through Jacksonville, where there was a reported tornado or several reported tornadoes, and then continuing up into South Carolina across Charleston and into Myrtle Beach. Some of the wind gusts have been very impressive, and that does include near the Hilton Head Island area, 81-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That's one of the strongest that we've seen so far. 71 miles per hour at Horseshoe Beach, and the Key West area picked up 70 miles per hour, and that was a really strong gust as Elsa pushed past Key West and continued up the Gulf Coast of Florida. The footprint of rain has been pretty impressive from Key West all the way through, especially Naples, Fort Myers. That area saw just a deluge of rain over and over and over again. Yesterday, Tampa saw quite a bit of rain, and that rainfall extends to 3 to 5 inches widespread across the Georgia coast up into the Carolinas. The most impressive rainfall total we've seen so far is in the Punta Gorda area, where we've seen over 11 inches of rain. It's a couple months worth in a short amount of time. And we actually set a daily rainfall record in Gainesville, Florida, with over 3 inches of rain. Right now, with Elsa, the sustained winds at about 40 miles per hour. Here's the deal. We could see that become a little bit stronger as this moves along the I-95 corridor. We will see the winds pick up maybe to about 45 miles per hour as this lifts off to the north and to the northeast. So just be prepared as Elsa comes in your direction. A lot of wind, a lot of rain, and potentially some isolated spin-ups as well. That's what we saw in Jacksonville yesterday, a funnel cloud moving through as Elsa carved a path through Florida on Wednesday. Widespread damage was reported, including private property as well as downed power lines and trees. There was one fatality, unfortunately, with these storms. The National Weather Service in Jacksonville is out surveying the damage today. Jen, I think these tornadoes with tropical systems are some of the scariest because just how quickly they spin up.
Exactly. They spin up quickly. There's always a lot of rain, so you can't always see it. And so you just need to seek shelter if you are under those tornado warnings. I want to show you where actually we had a couple of tornadoes spin up yesterday. There were 2 reports in Georgia, 3 actually in Florida. Again, the Weather Service is going to be out to survey these, as Molly mentioned. But one of them, already preliminary rating of EF2, the one that hit the RV park in Georgia. And there were some injuries that came out of that, unfortunately. Now, here's where the rain is right now. And we are watching it all continue to lift north through North Carolina. It is a rainy day for us across the I-95, right across the entire state of North Carolina. Now, at the moment, been watching these bands, and it's these 2, this one and then this other one that extends down just to Little River, that I've been watching very closely for any spin-ups here. Haven't seen anything yet. The Weather Service obviously watching it extremely closely. They'll be the ones that would issue any warning should we need them. And there is a tornado watch across this zone for that threat of tornadoes happening. That goes until 3 o'clock this afternoon, and that is possible all the way up into southeast Virginia. So be ready later today. Things are going to change up around Norfolk and Virginia Beach and the Hampton Roads area, and I would imagine that we will get under a tornado watch once we get into the later hours today. Watch means that conditions are possible for tornadoes. When there's a warning, it means that one has either been spotted or it's been recognized on Doppler radar, and that's when a warning, you need to seek shelter. All right, so quick look at that forecast going forward. We're in the rain, heavy at times, Raleigh, right through about mid-afternoon. After that, though, it does improve. Now, tornadoes are one of the several dangers that hurricanes, tropical storms, and their remnants can produce as they move inland. Meteorologist Mike Bettis explains how it happens.
Hurricanes have many of the ingredients needed to form tornadoes, including thunderstorms, as well as wind shear, which is simply a change in wind speed and direction with height. And lastly, warm, moist air. And certain areas are more prone to this double trouble. The front right quadrant of the hurricane is fertile ground for these tornadoes because that's where we find the strongest winds. So let me show you how this all happens. When a hurricane makes landfall, the friction near the ground slows the winds, while above, the winds remain high. And this creates a rolling motion in the atmosphere. Now remember our other ingredient? It's warm, moist air. And it's buoyant, meaning it wants to rise. And that rising air now tilts our rolling motion vertically, creating a tornado. And these tornadoes can be destructive, most producing EF0 to EF2 damage with winds up to 135 miles per hour. But predicting exactly where a tornado will form within a hurricane can be very, very difficult because most tornadoes form within small storm cells that may not appear dangerous on radar. So in addition to all the other threats from a hurricane, tornadoes just one more reason to evacuate when ordered to.
And we are watching for the threat of tornadoes very, very closely today. But on top of that, in the Carolinas, on top of the tornado threat, on top of the wind threat, we also have to talk about the water. Of course, with tropical systems, we have a flash flood watch from Fayetteville, Raleigh, Greensboro, all the way up into Virginia. And that extends into Baltimore and even Ocean City, Maryland, where we are expecting quite a bit of rain today as Elsa continues its track up the I-95 corridor. This is the forecast cone. So this is what you see typically with tropical systems, but what you always have to remember is that is the center of Elsa, and you will see impacts well outside of the center, especially on the eastern side. So a lot of rain, a lot of wind in Wilmington, the Hatteras Cape, Nags Head, North Carolina. Virginia Beach, Norfolk is going to see a lot of rain, a lot of wind today, and we could see rainfall amounts of maybe a couple of inches, topping 5 inches in some areas, and that's going to be about a month or two worth of rain in just a single day, so 24 hours. That's why we're concerned about flash flooding, and many of these areas, especially the Raleigh city area, Raleigh-Durham, that you could see 3 to 5 inches of rain. On top of that, the wind gusting at times 30, 35 miles per hour. When that falls on super saturated soil, you get the wind that comes through, and that will knock down trees, potentially on top of power lines. Then you start to have power outages on top of that. And it will be the wind remaining after this that's going to allow for some delays in repairing some of those power lines. And certainly, so it's going to be kind of a rough day in the Carolinas, and that will extend up into Virginia and eventually up into the Northeast and up into the Atlantic City area, where they are on alert for Elsa as well, as the storm takes aim at the Northeast. Heavy rain, wind, and flooding on tap for Atlantic City and you at Jersey Shore. A tropical storm warning is in effect, and a flash flood watch goes into effect tomorrow evening. This is several days, Jen, of some storms, and now we have Elsa.
We do. It has been rough up here in the Northeast. It's been hot. Every day we get thunderstorms. Now we've got a tropical storm coming our way. There is a tropical storm warning that is up, and the flash flood watch is up, expecting some really heavy rainfall coming in and high rates. When you have a high rate of rain, meaning a lot happens in the course of an hour, that's when you run into the biggest risk of flash flooding. Plus, we start the situation with saturated ground. 2 days of storms already. There'll be another one today. Then this is overnight tonight. So we start at midnight. You see all the moisture coming up from Elsa, heading up through New York City and up towards southern New England. That's the zone I'm really most concerned about when it comes to flooding or flash flooding, simply because look at this moisture coming in, and this is an area that can only handle 2 or 3 inches of rain in a 3-hour period before flash flooding would happen. And so this is tomorrow morning. Look at this, 8 o'clock in the morning, a mess of a commute. If you have the option to still work at home, do it tomorrow, because we have all of this rain that's just going to make the morning rush a mess here. And then right through the afternoon into southern New England, in New Hampshire, and then a couple more thunderstorms do start popping in later in the day. All right, now we have to go to Texas, Molly. This is a huge flooding story.
Yeah, Florida and the Southeast, not the only spots seeing some flooding as storms crank across the Gulf Coast. The other side of the Gulf Coast in Texas, kicking up high water across parts of Texas, including in Rockport, where those vehicles splashing through the streets. It's never a good idea to do this, to drive through those flooded waters, because you never know how deep the water is. Just south in Corpus Christi, they had 2 months of 2 July months worth of rain in just the last 12 hours. And the Corpus Christi airport this morning picked up over 4.5 inches of rain just since 6 a.m. And that's, again, several months worth in a very small amount of time. That's why we're so concerned about the flash flooding in this area. It's been several days now that we've seen this repeated heavy rainfall over the same areas. This is the past 48 hours where you see those reds as well as those pinks. That is 8 to 12 inches of rain in 48 hours. And that's why we are expecting some flash flood watches and some warnings in this area today. We might even see another flash flood emergency like what we saw in Rockport yesterday. You have to be prepared and watch out. And if that water starts to rise in your area, have a plan of what you're going to do. An additional 5 to 8 inches of rain expected towards the Victoria area. And this is the atmospheric moisture. So this is the precipitable water, basically the water available in the atmosphere for some of these storms to tap into. Where you see those deep reds and pinks, that is a lot of moisture, tropical moisture. So more rain will fall in Texas today. Keep it right here on the Weather Channel.
What happens when you make power your thing above everything? You put muscle over matter, and you make horsepower a superpower.
Single-serve Fancy Feast Petites are just for her. Just the right size, just the right gourmet flavor. No artificial preservatives or colors. Just what she needs. Just what you want. Fancy Feast Petites. Love is in the details.
Ooh, I can't wait to get you home.
Ooh, I'm gonna eat you up when you go home. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait. I'm just gonna bite you.
Oh, baby. That looks amazing. Marcos, pizza lovers get it.
Age is just a number, and mine's unlisted.
Try Boost High Protein with 20 grams of protein for muscle health versus 16 grams in Ensure High Protein. Boost High Protein also has key nutrients for immune support. Boost High Protein.
My teeth were a mess. I had a lot of pain as far as my physical health. My body was telling me, you got to do something. And so I came to Clear Choice.
Your mouth is the gateway to your body. Joe's treatment plan was replacing the teeth with dental implants from Clear Choice.
Clear Choice has changed my life for the better. It's given me my health back. There's an amazing life out there if you do something for your health now.
Tommy John is for women who value themselves and their comfort, who want comfortable bras and fabrics that are lightweight, breathable, and insanely soft. Bras that disappear under clothing while smoothing, supporting, and separating, that adjust for the perfect fit. Women who want underwear with no roll waistbands and no VPL. Wow. Look at me. You can trust our thousands of 5-star reviews because Tommy John knows comfort is a girl's best friend. Now mix and match any 3 panties for $48. TommyJohn.com.
Cracked windshield. Take one.
You say I got a crack in my windshield.
Lisa, maybe less heartbroken. Geico lets you file a claim online, over the phone, or with their app.
That makes me want to say, stay.
Are you crying?
No, there's pollen.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Come in for superfoods. Leave feeling mighty. What we value most shouldn't cost more.
JC tried Game Flings for the first time the other day and forgot where she was. You can always spot a first-time Game Flings user.
Jade makes people do crazy things.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
Introducing Senokot Laxative Gummies.
I'm the easy way to relieve occasional constipation overnight.
Just take before bed, and the next morning,
it's showtime! And I've got mixed berry flavor.
Senokot Laxative Gummies.
Easy relief, the gummy way.
If it hurts when you poop sometimes, like pinching off a porcupine, you're sweating, you're next trip to the loo. Colace is the brand you need to soften stools, we're all agreed. Number 2 should be easy to do.
Trust Colace to soften stools with no stimulants for comfortable relief.
I can't wait to see your new place. I haven't seen it yet.
Feels good to be home. Everything's just a little bit better.
Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Feels good to be home.
Looking for superior protection against UV damage and early skin aging? Try Neutrogena Ultra Sheer. It provides exceptional cellular protection from burning UVB rays and aging UVA rays. Save 25% at Neutrogena.com.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High 84. Tonight, showers and thunder showers likely. Low 72. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Friday, rain. High 88. Rainfall near 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Evacuate immediately.
New video just into the Weather Channel from Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston got hit hard through the overnight hours with torrential downpours, blinding rain. More than 3.5 inches fell here, leading to rising water and some flash flooding. There have been issues across town as a result of that through the early morning hours, and also some tree damage. The winds were gusting as much as 40 miles per hour in Charleston. It did block a few roads, but conditions there dramatically improving right now. Coming to you live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I'm meteorologist Jackie Jarris. So glad you could join us this morning for a special coverage of Tropical Storm Elsa. I'm here in Myrtle Beach, where the worst also came through in the early morning hours, but boy, you can see it is still really gusty. In fact, the sand kind of blowing down the beach here from these gusts that are ranging between 30 and 40 miles per hour still. All the squalls have moved up towards our north, and that's the good news, and we'll watch for improving conditions here for the rest of the day. But if you know anything about the Grand Strand here in Myrtle Beach, this is a tourist town. Thousands of people flock here from all across the country in the summer months to enjoy the beautiful beaches here. And of course, we had 4th of July over the weekend. This is a holiday week for a lot of folks, just like the Cajal family here from Ohio. And guys, you guys came a couple of days ago. Were you worried, first of all, to come because of the tropical storm?
We were at first, but we were blessed and we prayed on it and thought about it a little bit, and we were very excited to go ahead and come here. The hospitality in Myrtle Beach and the locals have been wonderful. Being on the beach here, even though the storm is in here, hasn't stopped us at all from enjoying our vacation. We've had to do a little bit of a detour than what we would expected to do today, but it hasn't put a damper on us at all. And I thank everyone here for keeping us safe and watching over us. And I wish everybody here on Myrtle Beach and all the tourists a great, wonderful rest of their vacation while they're here.
So tell us a little bit about what happened this morning. I know you guys all ended up going into the bathroom, yeah?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we definitely did.
So did you wake up early? Did you hear things? Or tell me about that experience.
We kind of just woke up to the thunder, and we all heard the tornado warning on our phone, so we went into the bathroom and stayed there for a while.
All right, that's what I like to hear. You guys took shelter and played it safe. Dad, are you guys tempted to get out back into the water today, or what are your plans?
Probably tomorrow.
Probably tomorrow. That's probably a good idea. You guys can see how rough the waves are. So Tropical Storm Elsa not putting a damper on your guys' vacation, right?
No, not at all.
When are you heading back home?
We don't head back home until Sunday morning.
Oh, perfect. So you guys have several days to still deal with some nice weather
Yes.
returning to Myrtle Beach. Cajon family, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the vacation. So they heard it. You know, we talked with the mayor earlier this morning. Mayor says that there have been very few cancellations. I was able to get my hotel room, though, because of a cancellation. So a couple of people said, yeah, we're going to forget it. But for the most part, we are getting back to business as usual. The chairs are already set back up here. There's lots of people back out on the beach trying to have a good time. Now, the biggest concern going forward for the rest of the afternoon are the water conditions. And that's that the winds are still going to push that water onshore, bringing in a high risk of rip currents. So folks don't want to get in the water today. In fact, we do think the rips will be high tomorrow and the day after as well. So make sure you pay attention to the flags. And you can see the flags behind me that are flying. There's the double red flag indicating that the beach is closed today. And I learned something new today, Molly. I thought I knew all of my flags, but do you see the yellow flag with the black circle in it? Apparently that means no surfing. And I know it's tempting because you don't get big waves here every day, but they don't want you to get out there and surf today either. Molly?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So that's a good flag to add to your register of flags when you go to the beach. Things to look out for, especially if you're into surfing. It's not going to be great surfing weather along anywhere in the East Coast for the next couple of days because that as Elsa starts to move up the coast, it's going to churn up all of that surf, and you've got those onshore winds that will allow for some really strong rip currents. We've got a lot going on in the Northeast. Of course, we're awaiting Elsa's arrival, but also look at this, moving past Chicago all the way down to St. Louis. That is our front that we're watching for today that will continue to spark a few showers and thunderstorms already this morning, raining in portions of Indianapolis. We've got quite a bit of lightning right now, quite the thunderstorm moving through to wake you up this morning. And also we've got some rain moving across the tri-state area up into Albany, New York, and some light scattered rain across Charleston, West Virginia, and that area. As we get into the afternoon, this will tap into, of course, the heat of the day. It's been very, very hot in the Northeast. We've had a few heat advisories with those heat indexes in the 90s, as well as the triple digits. That's just fuel for these storms this afternoon right along that front. And then, of course, here comes Elsa riding right up the I-95 corridor. It will be messy, messy, messy across the I-95 corridor. So if you do not have to travel today or tomorrow, I wouldn't recommend it. You can stay right here on the Weather Channel as we continue to track Elsa.
Counting your veggies can be hard. So we did it for you. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg up.
Did you know diarrhea is often caused by bad bacteria in food? Try Pepto Diarrhea. Its concentrated formula coats and kills bacteria to relieve diarrhea. See, Pepto Diarrhea gets to the source, killing the bad bacteria. So make sure to have Pepto Diarrhea on hand.
Are you ready to win $5,000 a week for life?
Publishers Clearinghouse is all across America.
We want to come to your town.
Oh my God.
August 31st, they'll be ready to give away $5,000 a week for life.
We're talking movie star money.
This is real. But you've got to be in it to win it.
Enter now at PCH.com.
Believe it, it's real. $5,000 a week for life.
I don't believe it.
Are you ready to win?
I am speechless.
Enter now at PCH.com.
This is Coley, my foster fail. When I first started fostering Coley, I had been giving him kibble. It never looked or felt like real food. But with the farmer's dog, you can see the pieces of turkey. It smells like actual food. I saw a difference almost overnight. Healthy poops, healthy dog, right? As he's aged, he's still quite energetic and youthful. I really attribute that to diet. You know, he's my buddy. My job is to keep my buddy safe and happy.
Get started at longlivedogs.com.
With Allstate, drivers who switched saved over $700. Saving is easy when you're in good hands. Allstate. Click or call to switch today.
I'm David Collado, president and co-owner of Happy Howie's Dog Treats. We make all natural dog treats, and we're growing really fast. So fast, we were maxing out production. That's why I chose the Spark Cash Card from Capital One, because I earn unlimited 2% cash back on everything. Here, I redeemed $21,000 in cash back. Seriously, $21,000, which I use for new equipment so we can feed even more dogs. Thanks to my Spark Card, we're in over 4,000 stores across the country. What's in your wallet?
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
Return to rugged. The all-new, ruggedly redesigned 2022 Nissan Pathfinder.
It seemed like a normal day.
I got an alert on my phone, and then all hell broke loose.
It was complete chaos.
Go, go!
Mother Nature gives you a warning sign. Get ready for something big.
You just hang on for dear life and hope for the best.
Welcome back. We are tracking Elsa up the East Coast, and here's what we know right now. Elsa is to blame for at least one death in the U.S. One person was killed by a falling tree in Jacksonville, Florida yesterday. Power outages are growing. More than 23,000 customers are without power in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. PSE&G is preparing crews for Elsa's arrival in the Northeast tomorrow as it continues to try to restore power to remaining customers from yesterday's thunderstorms. And North Carolina has activated its State Emergency Operations Center.
And look at that sky in Wilmington. It is dark. Thank you for trusting the Weather Channel to get you through all the midday hours as we track Elsa and several other threats across America.
The first week of July, it's been busy, and it's starting off with a bang. And it's not just with the fireworks from the 4th of July. Elsa is leaving quite a bit of destruction in its trek up the eastern seaboard. Massive RVs were flipped over at Kings Bay base in Georgia yesterday. This is why an RV is never a great place to be during a storm, especially a tornado. At Jacksonville, Florida, a possible tornado tore through, leaving a trail of destruction behind, and there were reports of trees and limbs down in several states. So Elsa, Jen, it's now day number 8 of Elsa being a named storm, and we've at least got 2 more.
Exactly. I mean, and this is the entire East Coast, right? We started in Florida yesterday, and now we're going to bring it all the way up to the Northeast tomorrow. Let me show you where it is right now and what we are dealing with. You saw how dark that sky was in Wilmington. So we're in the rain. The tropical rain is coming down across the entire eastern 2/3 of the state of North Carolina, and it's going to be lifting up here into the Carolinas. Watching for these bands, and you can see how they extend out over the water with the lightning. These outer bands are the ones that you'll have to watch for that potential of spin-ups coming in of tornadoes. The other thing, though, it's just windy. It's just plain old windy out there with gusts close to 40 in Myrtle Beach. We're gusting mid-20s there in Wilmington and even in Charleston, where your skies are clearing. You see blue out there, right? But we're still gusty up to close to 30 miles per hour. The tornado watch is up. This goes until 3 o'clock local time. And the thing to know about tornadoes and tropical systems is they can happen fast. So make sure that if you're in this watch area, it's a good indication that the possibility is there. Make sure you're ready. If you get a warning, know where you would go. Let's take a closer look at the radar in Wilmington. We're in a very steady rainfall right out here, looking up towards Sandy Field, thunder and lightning coming down, watching this little line as it curves up to the north and arcs up to the north too. I mean, all roads are wet and the rain has been very persistent. Some of the heaviest rainfall rates right now, Pinehurst, golfers, obviously you're not golfing today, and this is all lifting north towards the triangle, so it's going to get worse before it gets better in Raleigh and in Durham. Now, we also have some of those extreme northern bands starting to make their way up here, up into Virginia. And so in the next 2 hours or so, get ready in Norfolk and the Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach. We've got rain and storms coming your way from Elsa. And of course, that rain on the move as we get through the overnight, heading all the way up the East Coast to the Northeast, Molly.
Thanks, Jen. It's not just the Carolina coast getting hammered by Elsa spinning up the East Coast. We also have to talk about Charlotte. Look at that. It looks gross in Charlotte right now, but things are starting to improve just a little bit. It's 74, very tropical degrees. Let's talk about the timing for Charlotte because, yes, things are improving, but we still have some rain to go in the Charlotte area. Now, before today, you were a little bit below on your average rainfall for the entire year, about 1.5 inches. You likely made that up today and maybe even a little bit more in spots. We could have some wraparound showers on the backside of this as we go throughout the evening time frame, but you will have a dry period coming up, at least for the first part of the afternoon. You just heard Jen talking about this. It is going to get worse before it gets better in the Raleigh-Durham area. So I-95, I-40, anywhere along I-85, it is going to be sloppy out on the roadways. If you have to be out, just take it extra slow. We've also got some strong wind gusts moving into Raleigh, as well as some of that rain. At times, the wind being so strong, it could just blow sideways for many of us. And then we get into the later part of the evening. That's when it starts to improve as Elsa lifts off to the northeast. Anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain across the Raleigh area. And of course, the wind at times 30 to 35 miles per hour. We could even see some isolated, stronger gusts. But talk about where it's windy. Let's go out to meteorologist Jackie Jarris, who is in Myrtle Beach right now. And Jackie, it seems like the wind has gotten stronger, even though Elsa is past to your north now.
As you just say that, we've been really experiencing some strong gusts. Last check at the airport, 38 miles per hour. That's the gust. So, occasionally we'll get these strong gusts that kind of throw you off your feet a little bit, and certainly blowing the wind on the sand. But look at this. These guys are trying to play a little football despite the winds. Works out not every time. But hey, why not? Now that the main threat is over here in Myrtle Beach. So the wind will continue to be an issue over the next couple of hours, but will gradually be lightening up, improving into the afternoon. But the other big issue with the wind is creating some really wicked waves. So don't get out in the water. A lot of folks here on vacation trying to have a good time, and they can get out here on the beach. We'll have continuing live coverage and watch us streaming on Roku.
And Doug. So then I said to him, you gotta customize your car insurance with Liberty Mutual, so you only pay for what you need.
Doug, can we talk about something other than work? It's the weekend.
Yeah. Hot dog or chicken?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I always thought it was me, that I was the reason all these diets never worked.
Noom made me realize that I never really learned how to eat right.
It gets results by teaching you a lot about your own eating habits.
This doesn't feel restrictive. It feels like a true lifestyle change.
Once I understood why I was making those choices, it was easy for me to change those habits, and weight loss came naturally after that.
I've been on Noom for 4 months now. I've lost 27 pounds, and I feel like I got my life back.
Visit Noom.com and lose the weight for good.
With SimpliSafe's Video Doorbell Pro, you'll know if the person at your door is friend or foe. Or just a late-night cheese pizza with extra meatballs. With my smart lock, I can let him in. Entrez-vous. And I can lock up from right here. Same time tomorrow. So take it from an expert. Get SimpliSafe and protect home like a pro.
Visit simplisafe.com for a limited time offer.
Attention, a common herbicide, paraquat, has been linked to Parkinson's disease.
If you suffer from Parkinson's and think you may have been exposed to an herbicide containing paraquat, call the Goldwater Law Firm.
Call us right now. You may be entitled to substantial compensation.
Call now, and in less than 2 minutes you can find out if you may qualify.
Your Parkinson's may have been caused by the herbicide paraquat. Call 1-800-594-7800. That's 1-800-594-7800.
I am a big believer in super beta prostate. You'll notice less urges to urinate, and you won't be getting up at night for so many bathroom trips. I wouldn't say it if I didn't truly believe it.
See yourself.
Welcome back to the mirror.
And know you're not alone. Because this,
come on, Jesse, one more,
is a reflection of an unstoppable community. In the mirror.
Pesky leaks?
Gorilla Waterproof Patch and Seal Spray, of course. Seals out water, air, and moisture, indoors and out. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth. Available in spray, liquid, and tape.
You'd never want leftover food residue on your surfaces, but that's what you could be doing with a used dishcloth. So switch to Bounty for a more hygienic clean. Unlike used dishcloths that can redistribute residue, Bounty keeps your surfaces cleaner. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Parents have a way of imagining the worst, especially when your easily distracted teenager has the car. At Subaru, we're taking on distracted driving with sensors that alert you when your eyes are off the road. The Subaru Forester. The safest Forester ever.
Around here, they say if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute.
Get into the out there. The Weather Channel.
Coming to you live from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm meteorologist Jackie Jarris. Boy, we had a wild ride this morning. Conditions have improved a lot, but it's still not exactly a picnic at the beach right now. We've got strong gusty winds, around 38 plus miles per hour at times. That's really got the flag sticking out there, but it's also taking the sand and pushing it down the beach, and you can really feel the sting on your legs, I'll tell you, when that sand gets blowing. So that's going to be one of the concerns going forward. Now, earlier this morning, the worst of the conditions really came in between about 3 a.m. and about 9 a.m. We had a tornado warning in here. Our crew had to take shelter and get inside the building as that was just a little too close for comfort. We had a lot of lightning, too. That's something to think about with tropical storms. They have a lot more lightning than hurricanes do. Now, the beach still looking pretty good, quite honestly. Overall, you can see the water has come up. A lot of the foam has developed. So you get those winds kind of pushing the waves, and it creates this kind of ugly foam that's kind of a little bit fun to play in. No big erosion issues, so that's the good news. And high tide came in here around 7:07 this morning, and that wasn't really a big problem either. But the problem is what's in the water still going forward, as we have this strong onshore push, more of a south-southeasterly wind coming in, and that means our risk of rip currents remains high. This is a tourism town. Look at all the people who are out here trying to have a good time here. Of course, a lot of people spend a lot of money to come on down to the beach, so they want to get out and have fun. So Molly and Jen, the pool is where it's at the next 2 days, because you don't want to do much more than tickle your toes in this water the next few.
Jackie Jarris here, calling for a pool party today here, and great advice to do so. You know, we've got the wind and waves from tropical storms like Elsa. That's one cause of beach erosion along the coast.
Meteorologist Alex Wilson shows us the scope of the problem and the factors behind it.
Ever head to the beach only to find a sand cliff where the beach used to be? It's actually a natural process called erosion, which can be found in coastal areas all around the U.S. It happens when the energy of moving water, like waves, pulls sand away from the shore and then deposits it in other places, like deeper water or another coastal area. This can occur gradually, but when the winds and waves kick up, erosion can be quick and dramatic, leaving behind lower and shorter beaches, or sometimes no coastline at all.
There were actually woods at one time. They came and they did hunting. There was lots of land before this occurred. You know, nature goes where it wants to go.
Shorelines that get tropical storms are more at risk than others because of a combination of high tide storm surge mixed with strong waves. But nature's protector, the sand dunes, help separate the lower beach from higher ground. The roots of the dune grasses help anchor the sand in place and keep water from going too far inland. Unfortunately, when humans build along the coast, it can damage those dunes and make erosion worse. And in turn, erosion can make it worse for humans. According to NOAA's U.S. Climate Resilience Toolkit, $500 million worth of coastal property is lost or damaged due to erosion every year. To mitigate that, the federal government spends an average of $150 million each year on beach nourishment and other control measures to try to protect the disappearing coastline. While beach erosion is mostly a natural process that's been happening for ages, human activity is speeding it up, which can cause flooding, damage to roads, and sometimes make entire buildings collapse into the ocean.
Well, Elsa continues to barrel up the East Coast and is taking aim at places in the Northeast like this one, Providence, Rhode Island, where it looks like those skies already gray this morning. We could see tropical storm force winds whipping up by tomorrow. The other threat that we are keeping an eye on is the potential for dangerous flash flooding. Here's why. Of course, we have the tropical rain moving in with Elsa, but also you've seen days and days of thunderstorms now, dropping heavy rain, gusty winds. Also, there's been some power outages across the Northeast. So anything that falls on top of this from Elsa is really going to be insult to injury. We've got flash flood watches out from Washington, D.C., across Atlantic City, Philly, New York, Trenton, Hartford, Boston, Portland, all the way up to Bangor, Maine. So you think of any big city along the I-95 corridor, you will feel impacts from Elsa, and this will start today, continuing through tomorrow, and essentially the first part of Saturday, the farther that you get to the north. So this is Friday morning, so tomorrow morning, very early. You have to have a way to get warnings through the overnight hours, because as Elsa spins through, we're still watching the potential for a few of those isolated spin-up tornadoes, and those happen fast. Other than that, we've got really strong winds pushing past New York and the tri-state area, up into Connecticut, over into Boston. This is a quick mover, and this is gaining speed as it pushes off to the northeast. So that is good news in the fact that you won't see rain all throughout the day, but it is going to be soggy when it does come through. And tropical rainfall, so you're talking about some impressive rainfall amounts, 2 to 3 inches, maybe potentially even up to 5 inches in some areas where we see repeated heavy rainfall. Anywhere from 1 to 2 inches across the New Jersey area down to Atlantic City. The New York area, tri-state, could see 3 to 5 inches of rain, and those isolated higher amounts always possible because this rain is going to be falling on top of already very saturated soil. When that happens, it immediately turns to runoff. Where does that runoff go? Typically on the roads. So travel, it's going to be a little bit dicey for the next couple of days in New England. And of course, the wind going to be a factor too. Wind gusts anywhere 30, 35 miles per hour, potentially up to 40 and 50.
Wendy's only serves one kind of breakfast, a better one. So chuck your old soggy Eggwich and pick up 2 of these freshly made sandwiches at Wendy's for just $4. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's 2 for $4.
Say hello to the new Athleisure. Sleek design, cloud-like comfort, athletic technology, and Italian leather. Get comfortable at wolfandshepherds.com.
A logo can do more than identify your company. It can connect in meaningful ways, energize your team, and inspire your customers. We're 4imprint, and we know your logo on the right product can create moments that matter. With 30 years of experience and thousands of products to choose from, we guarantee your order will be right the first time, on time, and for a great price. Be certain that the right moments will matter. Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Severe storm damage can cost you thousands in repairs. Hi, Phil Swift here. This storm season, you need the entire Flex Seal family of products. Make fast, easy, on-the-spot repairs. Seal up cracks and holes to prevent wind and water from damaging your home. Now it's easy to make quick automotive repairs. Severe storms can be a nightmare. Now you can patch huge holes to seal up roof leaks. Easily fix busted downspouts and replace loose siding. Floods can destroy your home. Push FlexPace deep into wet surfaces to help prevent flood damage. With the Flex Seal family of products, you can patch, bond, seal, and repair. Even the worst conditions are no match for the Flex Seal family of products. Get the Flex Seal family of products at these fine retailers.
Make this the summer you taught them what it means to serve. The summer of hauling happiness by the ton and bringing home hardware by the handful, where traditions were passed down on the tailgate. And the only thing more powerful than the feeling was the truck that took you to it. Make this the summer of Ram.
Now get $3,550 in total values, plus finance and get no monthly payments for 90 days on the 2021 Ram 1500. Real people are finding real savings with Spectrum Mobile.
I switched because we wanted great service for less money.
With Spectrum Mobile, I'm saving over $650 a year.
We've actually saved $612 in half a year.
Use the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator to find out how much you could save. Then get our unlimited data plan for $45 a line or our by the gig plan for $14 a gig. Call 844-230-8821.
Well, the idea that we can mix and match plans is great. This way we can adjust the plan to what our needs are at the moment.
These guys are unlimited, I'm by the gig, and I've got more money in my wallet.
Get the flexibility you want with the savings you need, all with free nationwide talk and text and no contracts. Call 844-230-8821.
We're paying a lot less and getting a whole lot more.
I'm wondering why I didn't switch to Spectrum Mobile a lot sooner than what I actually did.
Get Spectrum Mobile with our unlimited data plan for $45 a line or our by the gig plan for $14 a gig. Visit a Spectrum store, go to spectrummobile.com or call 844-230-8821.
Even as the world opens back up, some social distancing is still highly recommended. Get into the out there. The Weather Channel.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High 84. Tonight, showers and thunder showers likely. Low 72. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Friday, rain. High 88. Rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is new video just into the Weather Channel. We've got some trees down across the Carolinas. This is in Hilton Head. Those trees, no match for these winds. Actually, Hilton Head has seen one of our stronger gusts out of this storm, up to 81 miles per hour on the Sound, just outside of Hilton Head Island near the lighthouse. So if you're familiar with that area, typically it's pretty calm. The waters around Hilton Head very calm, but certainly not today. I mean, this is a mess.
Yeah, I mean, this area no stranger to tropical storm winds either. Remember when Matthew came through and all the trees that were down. So I'm sure this is bringing back bad memories for people with this.
Well, we're taking a live look right now at Elsa and where Elsa is moving. You can see some of those deeper reds and those orange colors. That's some of the thunderstorms in Elsa, some of those cooler cloud tops and those higher cloud tops. That's where we're likely seeing some very, very heavy rain right now as it passes Raleigh, Wilmington, making its way towards the Hatteras Cape, where we could see those winds pick up pretty significantly.
Yeah, we're actually getting close to that 11 o'clock advisory coming out. So we'll get a new locator on exactly where the center of the storm is. But you can just see from the radar, from the satellite perspective, that it's moving along very fast, actually, and that center circulation is now pushing up, getting closer to North Carolina.
And if there is any good news with Elsa, it's the fact that it is moving really fast. So it is going to blow through areas like Raleigh, through Richmond, up through Washington, D.C. and Baltimore today, and that's going to bring a lot of rain. That's why there's a flash flood watch in effect. We're talking about maybe a month, maybe 2 months worth of rain happening in 24 hours.
So in Charleston, it was 3.64 in just 3 hours. And so that's the kind of rain that we're going to get up and down this entire stretch. And look, it's well outside of the cone, because the cone is for the center circulation. So then the impacts are being felt, 150 miles away from the center of circulation.
And we mentioned this earlier, that if we had to pick somewhere to be in this,
I'd almost be under it.
Yeah, I'd rather be in the center than on the eastern side, because that's kind of the dirty side of a hurricane, where you get the really heavy rain, the really gusty winds, and of course there's tornado spin-ups as well. 3 to 5 inches of rain possible in the Raleigh area today, and that's going to continue. That's moving in right now. On top of that, the wind gusts really strong, so you have the saturated soil, you get the wind that moves through, and we could see more trees down like we saw on Hilton Head.
You know, if you have several hours like we had in Myrtle Beach, about 1 a.m. this morning, you started picking up the winds, and it's still windy, right? And so at some point that takes a toll on some trees, especially if they don't have a good root system, 35, 40 mile per hour winds. And watching that continue to climb up through the mid-Atlantic, Norfolk, Virginia, Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach, get ready. By this afternoon, things are really going to go downhill. This is 8 o'clock tonight. Now we get winds 40 to even 50 miles per hour.
And that's because you have less friction over the ocean, and kind of the North Carolina coast sticks out there. So you get all of the wind just coming right in your direction. Because of that, too, we're going to have a pretty big rip current threat with all those onshore winds. It causes the water to pile up. It's got to have somewhere to go, so it goes right back out.
We saw in Jackie's shot, and I thought that was a great point that she made about the no surfing, because a lot of times after a storm, you will see the surfers come out, right? You know, you don't always have big waves down here, especially in the coast of South Carolina, but today it's just too rough, too turbulent, too big of a risk of rip currents.
And we're going to see that continue all the way up the eastern seaboard. So in areas that you can do some surfing where the waves are a little bit bigger, I wouldn't recommend it for today or
storms
tomorrow.
Anyway up here.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of storms, what about in Texas?
Oh my goodness, torrential downpours are causing some serious problems along the Texas Gulf Coast. South Padre Island under a flash flood watch until at least tomorrow night. Nearby, McAllen Miller International Airport recorded a record-breaking 4.63 inches of rain there yesterday. We could rattle off a lot of stats from this area,
and bigger numbers than that, actually.
Huge numbers. Padre Island, just outside of Corpus Christi, close to 18 inches of rain in just 3 days. So 72 hours, 18 inches of rain. It's still falling in many of those same areas.
Still happening. South Corpus Christi right now, some new roads being closed because of it. This is how much we've seen in the past 48 hours, but a lot of it, even confined into a smaller time frame. Really heavy rainfall, up over a foot. This amount of water vapor in the atmosphere that we have right here is as big as or bigger than we're dealing with the tropical system.
We have seen bigger rainfall totals out of South Texas than what we've seen out of Tropical Storm Elsa. And look at this, we still have an additional 5 to 8 inches of rain to go. At that point, I wouldn't recommend any travel because it's just going to run right over the roads. You can never tell how deep that water is.
We're going to bring it up the coast a little bit too. So it's really been down here, Corpus Christi and points nearby, which has seen some of the biggest totals. But now we're going to see just this moisture. I mean, where you see the darkest and brightest colors, that's where we have the most amounts of atmospheric moisture. And it's really widespread all the way up to San Antonio.
So likely to see that flash flooding once again. Corpus Christi, have a way to get those alerts because we could see like what we saw yesterday in Rockport as well as Fulton, where we had a flash flood emergency issued and we had water rescues ongoing. This is going to be possible once again today. Corpus Christi, Victoria, over into the Freeport area.
And watching streams and creeks as well. The Oso Creek is one of them that we're watching. These are all the active flash flood warnings here.
Jen, just look at this. And that is a lot of tropical moisture, and you can tell because of all the lightning inside of this too.
Luckily for now, it's over the water, but unfortunately we could see it move on shore. You see that general movement. This story, along with Tropical Storm Elsa, we're continuing to cover right here for you on the Weather Channel.
Lots of vitamins A and C, and only 45 calories a serving. Good morning indeed. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg up.
This is a game changer who dares to be fearless even when her bladder leaks. Our softest, smoothest fabric keeping her comfortable, protected, and undeniably sleek. Depend. The only thing stronger than us is you.
Summer's scorching heat. It gets worse every year. But for the animals forced to live in these conditions, it can be deadly. Animals who've been left outside in excruciating temperatures, with no access to water or food, and little protection from the sweltering sun. They're running out of time, and that's why we're out there right now, racing to reach the animals who are trying to hold on for one more day.
We're just seeing dogs that are very dehydrated, no water in any of these water containers. What most of these dogs need is really fluids and nutrition.
Please help save them by going online or calling this number with your gift of just $19 a month. Your support today means rescuing more animals who are suffering in the unbearable heat this summer. Visit joinaspca.org on any device or call right now with your gift of only 63 cents a day. We urgently need 2,000 new donors in the next 30 days. So for taking action in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit with our member magazine, a photo of a rescued animal, and this one-of-a-kind Animal Champion t-shirt.
Every time I come to one of these properties, I'm struck by the same emotions. I mean, you just think about the lack of care that they have received. You know, it's heartbreaking.
Time is running out, and many of these animals who are suffering this summer may not make it. Please don't let them suffer another day. Go online or call right now.
At Loan Depot, we know home means everything. We're at the ballpark, across the nation, and just down the street. Loan Depot, home purchase, home refinance, and the official mortgage provider of Major League Baseball.
Welcome to Allstate.
Are you down, did it, down, did it, down, did it,
where we're driving down the cost of insurance.
are you
Drivers who switched saved over $700. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands. Click or call for a lower rate today.
We have to be able to repair the enamel on a daily basis. With Pro Enamel Repair Toothpaste, we can help actively repair enamel in its weakened state. It's innovative. My go-to toothpaste is going to be Pro Enamel Repair.
It's not rain, not ice. Elsa is using to coat the East Coast. A little Frozen reference there. Second landfalling tropical system of the year has made a mess in Florida and Georgia, and now it's set its sights on the early part of your weekend.
I mean, it really has. You've seen all the mess right here from Elsa so far, and we're tracking storm alerts from one end of the I-95 corridor to the other here today with you until 1 o'clock. Thanks for staying with us so that we can keep you informed. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCullum. Summer storms, major flooding, and of course, Elsa is making a messy, messy Thursday as you prepare for your weekend.
From the Tar Heel State to Hampton Roads and on up to Beantown, Elsa will bring a host of problems as we round out this first full week of July.
And it's not just those beach communities that will get walloped by the wind and the rain. This storm will crash inland parties as it links up with another system moving in from the west. That's the same system that's been bringing lots of problems to the northeast the past couple of days. Well, the center of Elsa is bringing torrential rains to the Carolinas. Power outages are growing in the Carolinas. Right now, nearly 17,000 customers do not have electricity there. Tropical storm warnings extend north into parts of the mid-Atlantic and all the way into New England. PSE&G is preparing crews for Elsa's arrival tomorrow as it works to restore power to remaining customers from yesterday's thunderstorms and the day before. We want to send it over to Jen because we have the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center on Elsa. It's actually starting to pick up speed.
Yeah, a little bit now. So it was moving at 18. Now it is moving at 20 miles per hour, and it is getting closer. It's now into North Carolina. We're going to watch its approach up, getting close to the Raleigh and Triangle area. Here's that circulation, and you can see it down here. I mean, it's going to take a beeline like this heading up, but you notice how far to the east all of the impacts are. Actually, the tropical storm force conditions extend out 115 miles from the east of the center of circulation. So that center point doesn't mean a whole lot. Actually, it's all about what's happening on the east side and actually up to the north of it as well, because out ahead of it, we are getting a lot of rainfall that is very heavy at times. Now, here's the circulation. Look at the wind field all coming in towards it. Winds are gusting 32 miles per hour right now in Wilmington. Cape Hatteras picking up 24 miles per hour. Myrtle Beach, we are still gusting now to nearly 40 miles per hour. Finally getting a little bit of a breakdown towards Charleston. The tornado watch is active. This goes until 3 o'clock local time. Concerns about spin-ups all throughout this area that could happen really fast. So make sure you have a way to get your warnings here today. Tornado watch means that conditions are ripe for it. If there's a warning, that means that there is a tornado either happening either either on Doppler radar as indicated or on the ground. Now, in terms of rainfall, I mean, look how it's all lifting north really fast. Wilmington, we're through the worst of it. A few more showers left here, but the worst of it is lifting north. Raleigh, we're actually just getting into some of the heaviest of rain in there and over towards Chapel Hill. We're in a very steady rain for the next 2 hours or so. Sanford, look at this rain. Pinehurst, North Carolina, you are just in a soaking rain out there. And this is now pushing north into Virginia as well. Here's everything in motion, and we're going to give you a forecast, taking what's happening now and bring it up along the East Coast. We're concerned about the power outages that could come with it. We've already seen a number down through Savannah, Brunswick, Georgia, Charleston area, still some power outages ongoing, and of course in the Myrtle Beach area. We also have some back around the Charlotte area. And so, I think the bulk of it, though, we have to watch for with the combination of wind and rain that may take down some trees, and that could take down some power lines. All right, let's get into the nuts and bolts now. What's happening with Elsa?
Yeah, we've had quite a few of storm reports. You just heard Jen talking about the possibilities of power outages with trees coming down on top of power lines. We've seen a lot of reports of wind, water, even tornadoes, water spouts from the Gulf Coast of Florida all the way through Jacksonville, up the coast of Georgia, and into the Carolinas, where Elsa is moving right now. We've seen some really impressive wind gusts. This is right near the Hilton Head Island area in South Carolina, 81 miles per hour. That is the strongest that we've seen so far. Also some 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts Key West over into Horseshoe Beach, Florida. The footprint of rain has been impressive, about 3 to 5 inches of rain in a lot of areas. But I do want to bring your attention to the Fort Myers area, Punta Gorda, as well as Port Charlotte, Fort Myers, Sanibel, bringing in some of the highest rainfall totals. And that's because as Elsa was lifting to the north, there was a plume of moisture that wrapped around and it connected directly to the Gulf of Mexico. That brought in a lot of tropical moisture. Here's the latest on Elsa, 45 miles per hour. Those sustained winds. So we mentioned this earlier. We expected those wind speeds to pick up a little bit, and it certainly has now, only about 5 miles per hour. But we will see Elsa continue across areas like the Carolinas, moving into Raleigh right now. It's going to get worse before it gets better for you in Raleigh, across I-95, and the Hatteras Cape could see some really strong winds up to close to 50 miles per hour as we get later into the evening. And quite a bit of those cold cloud tops where you see those reds and those oranges. Those are some deep thunderstorms in Elsa, and you'll notice all of this is on the eastern side. So the center is moving over the Charlotte, Raleigh area, but we have just to the east of that all of those thunderstorms, all of the wind, and of course the chance for those isolated spin-up tornadoes, always a threat with these landfalling tropical systems. Well, tropical storm conditions are expected by tonight in Virginia, where coastal communities are putting the final touches on preps for Elsa, and this includes Virginia Beach, which is under a tropical storm warning. We're joined live now on the phone by Drew Langford, Media and Communications with the City Department of Public Works. So, Drew, Elsa will be the Virginia Beach's first brush with the tropical weather this season. What are your crews focusing on in the hours ahead?
Well, we've got a lot of areas around here that are low-lying, surrounded by water. So we're trying to look at a lot of the troubled areas. We've had our crews out checking all our pump stations, checking trouble areas. We've got vacuum trucks going around the city clearing drains, crews on all the ditches, particularly in the areas that we're most concerned about. And really the southern part of the city, which butts up right up to the North Carolina line, where there's been a lot of attention out there because if the winds come in from the south, we could have a lot of flooding there even without rain.
So you mentioned some of those trouble spots. Which ones are you focusing on specifically that you expect maybe water to pile up or the wind to even be a problem?
Well, we've got Shore Drive, which runs parallel with the Chesapeake Bay, and a lot of the water that comes in there goes through channels right into the middle of the city, where Rosemont Road, Windsor Woods area, where we have a lot of flooding problems. Also down near the ocean front, a lot of low-lying areas there. We do have 2 pump stations down there. We checked them yesterday. They're in good shape. So a lot of the places where we know we're going to get a lot of wind and low-lying areas with water.
Always good to be prepared ahead of time. So how are your crews preparing for your city's beautiful beaches? You have a lot of wonderful beaches. What are you doing in preparation for Elsa?
For the beach, we kept a close eye on it. The wind's starting to pick up here, so if it continues like that, we'll be removing whatever needs to be taken off the beach. We've also gone to all our work sites and had everything either tied down or removed that needs to be. The beach is looking good now. It just depends on what path the storm takes and what happens. But wind is wind is really what we're concerned about there. But For the most part, the city, we're pretty well set up. We've got a crew ready to go overnight if needed, and we double-checked all supplies yesterday. So we think we're in pretty good shape as far as being ready.
And as far as advice for your residents, how can they be ready both before and then after Elsa moves through?
Well, get the supplies in you might need, particularly batteries. Anytime you have a combination of wind and water like this, there's always a chance of power outages, so be prepared for that. If you don't have to go out during the storm, please don't, because we'll have crews out. It makes it a lot easier the less traffic there is. And if they've got things in their yard or wherever that need to be tied down, do that. It's better to kind of be prepared for the worst of the storm and hope that we don't get it.
It's great advice there. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, especially in areas like Virginia Beach, expecting Elsa to move in today. Thank you so much to Drew Langford, Media and Communications with the Virginia Beach Department of Public Works. Well, Elsa's spawning storms across the First Coast as a waterspout churns off the coast of Jacksonville. It's a scary sight right there. You can actually see it well into the distance, which is not very typical when you have those storms moving through. These are usually wrapped in rain, and it makes them very difficult to see. We also had some wind gusts, Jen, in the area gusting to near 50 miles per hour.
Yeah, and you know, what happens often is that water spouts over the water, but then when they move on land, there are tornadoes, and this does happen with landfalling tropical systems all the time. Unfortunately, we saw a number of tornadoes on land yesterday. We had 2 in Georgia, and then we had 3 reports coming in out of Florida. Surveys will be ongoing, but the one in Georgia, one of them did hit an RV park where there were injuries and there was a lot of destruction, and so certainly that's a big concern when you have that kind of damage. Now, let's talk more about what's happening with the rainfall today and some of these outer bands where you could be looking at that possible spin up of tornadoes. It's one of our big concerns with tropical systems. Everyone focuses in on the track and the wind and the rain, but these isolated tornadoes obviously can do some damage, like we saw at that RV park yesterday in Georgia. And so we've got, you know, places north of I-40 right now. That one band is starting to lift in and moving on up. That's an area to watch. We're under tornado watch until 3 o'clock, but that's an area to watch for these possible spin-ups. The rain itself is going to be a factor on the roads and for travelers, and we have 3s on the Torcon out here today. It's generally windy, and then you add in that extra layer of risk when it comes to these thunderstorms. So let's time things out. Wilmington, things are getting better as we speak. It's all lifting north, but that's one of the bands I'm concerned about, and it will extend up in through the Triangle area. So heads up for you. Just watch and be aware of any warnings that may be issued. We get you into the 5 o'clock time frame, though, getting better in Raleigh. Then we start to lift everything north through the Outer Banks, up through Virginia, including around Norfolk and Hampton Roads area, Virginia Beach. We were just talking about you. That worst weather really comes in about 4 or 5 o'clock or so, and then does get out of here by this evening. And after that, our attention turns to the north and east. Molly.
We're going to talk about the Carolinas right now because that is where Elsa is pushing through right now, dropping a lot of rain. Because of that, there is a flash flood watch in effect for areas like Raleigh, across the I-95 corridor, up into the Richmond area, Virginia Beach, where we just spoke to the Public Works Department, how they're preparing and expecting a lot of water and a lot of wind. Here's the forecast cone of Elsa moving directly over Raleigh, but I want you to notice this is the center of Elsa over Raleigh. This is an east-loaded side storm, bringing a lot of rain through Wilmington right now, a lot of rain and wind through the Carolina coast, and then up through Virginia and continuing up the I-95 corridor. We're expecting anywhere to 3 to 5 inches of rain around the Raleigh metro area today. We could see some isolated higher amounts where we see training of thunderstorms, potentially some lightning that always enhances those rainfall rates. Raleigh, a little bit behind on your rainfall so far this year. You will make that up potentially in just a couple of hours. So we're talking about 30 to 35 miles per hour of wind across the Raleigh area. But look at this. Take a close look on the Hatteras Cape, how these winds pick up as we see Elsa lift off to the north. It's going to pull a lot of those winds directly into the Hatteras Cape, and that's going to allow those wind speeds to amplify 40, even 50 miles per hour. But it doesn't stop here. We have to talk about all the way up the I-95 corridor up to the Atlantic City area on alert for Elsa today as the storm takes aim at the northeast. Heavy rain, wind, flooding, all on tap for Atlantic City and the Jersey Shore today. A tropical storm warning is in effect, as well as a flash flood watch goes into effect tomorrow evening. Jen, it's tough up in the Northeast because they've had several days of storms, power outages, some really intense heat, and then here comes Elsa.
Now we bring a tropical storm. You're like, what else are you going to throw at me this week, Mother Nature? It has been a mess of a week. And we have flash flood watches that are up. They go through tomorrow evening here for much of the Northeast, including eastern Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, all of New Jersey, parts of the New York City area, and then southern New England. Now, especially concerned about the New York City metro because this is where the rainfall guidance is showing, the flash flood guidance is showing us that we can only handle about 2 to 3 inches of rain in a 3-hour period. So this comes up. This is overnight tonight. This is 3 a.m. Here comes the moisture from Elsa, and it comes right through the New York City area, and we could easily see 3 inches of rain in 3 hours. That's what's been happening pretty much everywhere else in the South. So now we bring this in throughout the day. This is in the morning, afternoon, moves up into Boston about 1 o'clock or so, and we see that moisture go up through Maine for the end of the day. But then another couple of showers still may finish out the day out here because we still have a front hanging out back off to the north and east. So for us, in terms of how much rainfall, it's a widespread 1 to 2 inches of rain. If we get that 3 to 5 in a short window, meaning 3-hour window here across parts of the tri-state, that's going to cause flash flooding. Very concerned about that in this zone. In fact, Weather Prediction Center showing us where we're likely to have flash flooding from Connecticut up through Massachusetts and then right up across down East Maine. Molly?
Well, Florida and the Southeast, not the only spots seeing some flooding as storms crank along the Gulf Coast, but this is on the other side of the Gulf Coast where high water is moving into parts of Texas. Vehicles in Rockport splashing through streets that look more like rivers than roads. And this is what you never want to see, this many people driving through water. It's just not a good idea. Over a foot of rain falling, swamping the area just south in Corpus Christi. They had 2 July months worth of rain in the last 12 hours. The rainfall amounts here have just been absolutely unreal in South Texas. We're talking about 8 to 12 inches of rain over the past 48 hours. Anywhere that you see those brighter pink colors or those darker red colors, that is a lot of rain. We're talking months worth of rain in a matter of just 2 days. And here's the worst part is there is more rain expected, anywhere to 5 to 8 inches of rain near the Victoria, Texas area, extending down into Corpus Christi, and anywhere that we see repeated heavy rainfall, we could see amounts higher than 5 to 8 inches of rain. Here's why. This is coming directly from the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of atmospheric moisture in place. This is basically the measure of the moisture available, and it is a lot. It is very tropical, and that allows rainfall rates to be extremely impressive. Where we are most likely to see the flooding, Freeport, Victoria, down into Corpus Christi. That's where we have some flash flood warnings right now. Look at all of this thunderstorms right off the coast. Thankfully, it is off the coast right now, but still streaming into areas like Corpus Christi where you have to be careful today. Just don't get out on the roadways if you don't have to.
DiGiorno has 7 delicious crusts, and your family food critics will rave. Croissant crust is flaky layers of buttery bliss. Rising crust is fresh baked deliciousness. There's a 5-star pizza for everyone in your family to love. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Tuition-free, K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Discover the power of personalized learning.
Yeah, sure. What can I help you with?
Enroll now for the fall.
Hi, I'm Jimmy J.J. Walker. If you're on Medicare, listen to this. I called the 1-800 number to see what extra Medicare benefits I could get. An actual person answered, looked up my zip code, and boom, I was offered extra benefits like dental coverage, including dentures, extractions, fillings. Plus prescriptions, transportation, meals, and so much more, all at no additional cost. And then I asked about the benefit that adds money to my Social Security check. And get this, I'm entitled to an extra $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year added to my Social Security check. And I was like, dynamite. Call the 1-800 number on the screen and see what you may be entitled to. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-510-0241. That's 1-800-510-0241 now.
Mike Rowe here, still in a ditch where I've agreed to remain until every American realizes that the water and sewer lines outside of their home are probably their responsibility. I'm kidding. I'll be out of here in 20 seconds. But look, if you got a problem with your pipes, things could get expensive, and you're going to wish you had a plan from HomeServe.
Let HomeServe do it for you with plans starting at just $7.99 a month. Go to homeserve.com or call now.
Your pipes, your responsibility. I'll be down here if you need me.
This is what 30 minutes of boot camp tastes like. Come on, Peloton. Let it flow. Reach all the way up.
Check your vibe. It's time to grind, Peloton. Let's turn it up. Come on.
What's up, hustlers? Welcome to Peloton Outdoors. Let's get jogging.
Find your rhythm, baby. 1, 2, 1, 2. So many Peloton newbies on the leaderboard today. Welcome to the family.
Try Peloton classes free on the app. New members only. Terms apply.
Mother Nature gives you a warning sign, get ready for something big.
I can't wait to see your new place. I haven't seen it yet.
Feels good to be home. Everything's just a little bit better.
Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Feels good to be home. If there's pain when you try to poo and going sometimes feels like you push through a pineapple or two, Colace is the brand you need to soften stools, we're all agreed. Number 2 should be easy to do.
Trust Colace to soften stools with no stimulants for comfortable relief.
Had enough? No. Arthritis. Here, new Aspirin Arthritis. Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation. Thank the gods. Don't thank them too soon.
Kick pain in the Aspirin.
It's Ashley Home Store's Stars and Stripes event with new styles and more savings. Get up to 30% off. Plus, get an additional 10% off and pay no interest for 12 months. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Feels good to be home.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 81 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, showers and thunder showers likely. Low 72. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Friday, rain. High 88. Rainfall around 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Around here, they say if you don't like the weather, just wait a minute.
I love to watch the waves after a storm. The storm can be long gone, but the waves just keep going.
Ask my history teacher where to go to college. He said, go where you like the weather. Best advice I've ever gotten.
Get into the out there. The Weather Channel.
Let's take a look at Elsa's path now as it moves through portions of the Carolinas. It looks like we might have a brand new tornado warning. These pop up very quickly, and this is for Goldsboro, Salston, and Stony Creek. This goes until 11:45 local time. This is radar indicated, but it is on the eastern side of Elsa, the center of Elsa, and this is where we typically see these really quick spin ups. So if you live in this area, the county of Wayne in North Carolina, go ahead and take those tornado precautions right across I-795, so the interstate, and then pretty much anywhere along the eastern side. Make sure you have a way to get these warnings because these will spin up quickly and you will not be able to see them. I mean, look at how much rain is in that area too. Certainly you will not see that coming. Right now, it doesn't look like the rotation is overly impressive, but we could see that tighten up just about at any time. So Goldsboro, go ahead and take those tornado precautions, as well as Salston and Stony Creek. You are under a tornado warning until 11:45. 9:45 Eastern Time. Well, it's going to be a couple of stormy days in the Northeast. Crews are clearing the debris and damage from severe storms this week. More are on the way today before Elsa arrives. Both Baltimore and New York City face flash floods watches today. So we are looking at when will the worst of this finally clear out. Let's get some timing on your forecast for the Northeast.
It's all about timing, actually. If you can wait now, for travel in North Carolina, it will get a lot better the next 2 hours. Let's take it up to D.C. and Baltimore, where, your lunchtime hour, not so bad, right? But we're going to see this moisture start creeping up by later on today. Thunderstorms actually could pop first. These little guys up here, these renegade storms, they could be bringing in some strong winds, maybe even, some at severe limits. So that's something to be aware of. But also the heavy rain comes in, and then all the Elsa moisture lifts north as we get into the overnight. Now, this is 8 o'clock, and you see how we're sort of, on the edge of it. And so Baltimore and D.C. and this portion of I-95 may not get the worst of the Elsa rain, but we are going to get some other scattered showers, and we'll be in general in that circulation. So we'll see, I think, some breezy conditions at the very least. Jumping up to Philadelphia. We time things up here for you, and this is today lunchtime. Thunderstorms start popping this afternoon. Again, non-related. And then here comes the related moisture from Elsa as we get into the overnight. And so it becomes a soaker of a rain event here while you're sleeping. Heavy rain is going to be a concern, and we'll see this into New York City tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. Oh, it's going to be a mess in New York City. Real quick, I want to show you what's happening. First round of storms, second round of storms, non-related to Elsa. Then here comes the Elsa rain, 6 a.m. With all these batches of rain coming through, Molly, I'm very concerned about driving and, of course, flash flooding.
Well, it just makes it stressful to drive through. Elsa's high wind and rain will make driving dangerous. So meteorologist Reynolds Wolf shows us crucial things to know before you get in the car and start driving in the rain.
Driving during a downpour can be inconvenient and dangerous. While a rainstorm can reduce visibility, those first drops can sometimes be the most dangerous factor on the road.
When it first starts raining is the most dangerous time to be on the road because all the oil and the antifreeze that's dripped off of cars has soaked into the asphalt, and it rises to the surface when it starts raining, and then it mixes with the water, so it makes the road really slick and dangerous.
That's because once water covers the road, hydroplaning can occur.
Hydroplaning means there's water between the tire and the road surface. So instead of the tire actually touching the asphalt, that contact patch in reality has water in between, so you can't steer the car and get to the location you need to be.
But it's not just the rain. Other factors can make a big difference in how your car handles the road.
80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility, especially when it's raining really heavily out. It's going to affect the distance that you can see. And your headlights are going to be also really important, especially at night.
Make sure your headlights are working properly. Change those wiper blades every 6 months and turn the cruise control off. Plus, don't use heavy braking. You'll just lose traction.
The biggest mistake drivers make when it starts to rain is they drive through flooded roadways, they use their cruise control, and they don't give enough stopping distance between them and the vehicle in front of them. And that can lead to an accident.
Well, we want to talk about the threat for flash flooding across the Northeast today and even the Midwest. You've been plagued with several days of storms. Here's why. Here's our front that we've been watching for several days now, pushing across areas like Chicago into St. Louis. Day after day, it is just triggering thunderstorms over and over again, and we still have some right now this morning. Indianapolis, quite a bit of lightning, some gusty winds, and some heavy rain moving through. Those are not severe right now, but they're still very dangerous, where we've seen repeated heavy rainfall just to the south of Albany. We have a flash flood warning, a lot of lightning in this area as well. I'm very concerned about the tri-state area with the flash flooding and the wind and potentially some more power outages for you today. Let's take this into the future and watch what's going to happen today. Of course, we have several factors at play. We have this front moving through, but then also keep an eye on Elsa pushing up as we go into the evening time frame, getting closer and closer to Washington, D.C., with storms erupting across Pennsylvania over into New York. This moves into Philly as well as New York very early tomorrow morning with those gusty winds and, of course, flooding likely across that tri-state area.
Get more out of summer with savings on appliances for every function, style, and finish during the Home Depot's 4th of July savings. Save on appliances like this LG kitchen suite. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Honey latte.
What's the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, it's Hack Me.
It's easy to be unsafe.
Mom, what's your 401k number?
Now it's easy to help protect yourself. Opt in to cyber safety at Norton.com.
Attention.
Medicare recipients are entitled to save money and get significant new benefits at no additional cost.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here, and if you're on Medicare, this is important. You're now entitled to eliminate copays and get dental care, dentures, eyeglasses, prescription coverage, in-home aids, unlimited transportation, and home-delivered meals, all at no additional cost. Plus, your zip code may have coverage with the Give Back benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month. Look, with the uncertainty of the virus and vaccines, you need to get everything you're entitled to. Here's the bottom line. Call to get significant benefits at no additional cost and see if your zip code has coverage with the Give Back benefit.
I called to get the new benefits and save money, so I'm not spending money I don't have to spend.
With this virus situation, I called to get everything I'm entitled to. I couldn't believe I was missing out on so many benefits.
Reality is, it's a very uncertain year ahead, so you need to be sure your health care coverage is up to date. Call now. It's free.
I called to get dental, transportation, meals, and the Give Back benefit. They helped me so much.
Get dental care, dentures, unlimited transportation, and home-delivered meals at no additional cost. And your zip code may have coverage with the Give Back benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month.
With the uncertainty of the virus and vaccines, you need to get everything you're entitled to. Millions of people have trusted the Medicare coverage helpline. You can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-442-6400. That's 1-800-442-6400 now.
Publishers Clearinghouse is all across America.
August 31st, you could win $5,000 a week for life.
Enter now at PCH.com.
$5,000 a week for life.
Enter now at PCH.com.
After switching to the farmer's dog, we noticed so many improvements in Remy's health. His allergies were going away, and he just had amazing energy.
It looks like nutritious food, and it is.
I'm investing in my dog's health and happiness.
Get started at longlivedogs.com.
At Loan Depot, we know home means everything. We're at the ballpark, across the nation, and just down the street. Loan Depot, home purchase, home refinance, and the official mortgage provider of Major League Baseball.
So then I said to him, you gotta customize your car insurance with Liberty Mutual, so you only pay for what you need. Hot dog or chicken?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is J Country. Our goal is to find that $1 million boulder. I will dig till my hands bleed.
That's so sketchy, dude.
Anything can shut you down.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
We are continuing to track Elsa up the East Coast. Here's what we know right now. Elsa is to blame for at least one death in the U.S. One person was killed by a falling tree in Jacksonville, Florida yesterday. Power outages, of course, a problem. Right now, nearly 20,000 customers are without power in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. PSE&G preparing for the crews to restore power in the Northeast. And this is after yesterday's thunderstorms. North Carolina has activated its State of Emergency Operations Center. So a lot going on with Elsa.
Yes, there is. And we're so glad that you're trusting the Weather Channel to get you through the midday hours here as we track Elsa and several other threats actually across the country. We still have tremendous rain happening in Texas. In fact, here, a lot of flooding happening around the Corpus Christi area.
And not even just in Texas, but we have to talk about the Northeast as well, which has seen days of flooding just from summer thunderstorms.
A lot of trees
and then
down.
Here comes Elsa. So the first week of July, of course, very busy, starting off with a bang. It's not just the fireworks. Elsa leaving quite a bit of destruction in its trek up the eastern seaboard. Massive RVs were flipped over at Kings Bay base in Georgia yesterday. In Jacksonville, Florida, a possible tornado tore through, leaving a trail of destruction behind. And there are reports of trees and limbs down across several states now.
Yeah, there really is a lot of damage along its path here. And I know, everyone thinks it's just a tropical storm. Well, even a tropical storm can create a lot of damage, and we've seen that. Now, the winds, Charleston finally getting a break. We had been gusting over 30 for something like 10 or 12 hours.
Myrtle Beach, though, wow.
Still doing it.
41 miles per hour. It even seems like like as Elsa's been lifting to the north, the wind has been increasing along the coast. We also have a tornado watch out in effect. Anytime you see a landfalling tropical system, you get these small spin ups. So anywhere from Fayetteville, Wilmington, Morehead City, the coast of North Carolina have to be aware. And here's why, because they spin up very quickly. We have a tornado warning right now for portions of Pikeville, Salsa, and Stony Creek until 11:45 local time.
And watching this is the reflectivity showing you where the rain is. Don't see a hook on that, but when we look at the velocity, but watching this little right in here, and so this is lifting both north and actually to the west at the same time. So be cautious, obviously in this warning here, but even surrounding it, just make sure you stay on guard, because as this lifts north, we'll have to watch for rotation.
And even just a few moments ago, the rotation didn't look that impressive. So it's just an example of how quickly this can tighten up and get going.
So we're tracking it towards Salston. The timing for you as we make it towards Elroy, 11:31, Stony Creek, 11:42, Fremont, 11:51, Black Creek, 11:56 here. And we've taken it outside of the warning area just so you can see and get an early heads up here in case it does hold together through that entire stretch.
And sometimes, Jen, when we start seeing these pockets of spinning in the rotation, sometimes we start to see more after we see the initial one. A lot of rain moving into Raleigh right now, and just outside of Raleigh, on the east side of Raleigh, that's where we're seeing that swath of very heavy rain push across the I-95 corridor.
It was so heavy in Pinehurst. We got to get an update total from this area, because I'm curious what that put down. I mean, that heavy rain sat over you for quite a while. It's now lifting north, and you're going to get into some better weather in the coming hours. Again, this tornado warning for Wayne County, one last look at it, Pikeville, Salston, and Stony Creek until 11:45.
Well, Tropical Storm Elsa continues its destructive path up the East Coast this morning. Wilmington, North Carolina, you are under a tropical storm warning. We could see flooding rain, tropical storm force winds. There's also the possibility we could see some isolated tornadoes, just like what we're seeing right now, some tornado warnings. So please stay weather aware today. And it's not just the Carolina coast getting hammered by Elsa and spinning up the East Coast. Inland spots could see torrential rain pouring across I-85 city streets in the Queen City of Charlotte. Charlotte's starting to improve just a little bit. You still got those dark skies, but areas like Charlotte, you're going to see some dry periods in the afternoon after all of the rain that you saw this morning. It was quite the just slug of moisture that moved through Charlotte and made for a very messy commute. You will see a dry period, but then look what happens later this evening. You're going to get some wraparound showers on the backside of Elsa, giving you another round of rain. Gastonia, Rock Hill, I-485, seeing that really heavy rain tonight. And Raleigh, of course, we were just talking about that. All of that heavy rain continuing to move through. Tropical downpours, lightning possible, and the spin-up tornadoes. That's what we're seeing as we continue into the afternoon. This will improve later in the evening, but just like with Charlotte, some wraparound showers are possible on the backside of that, especially across the Fayetteville area. Anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain, and because of that, there is some flash flooding concerns where we see that rain train over the same areas, especially on those interstates and those roads. That's where you have to take it a little extra slow today. On top of that, yes, with tropical systems, we also have to think about the wind. 30 to 35 miles per hour across the Raleigh area, even stronger just to the east in Wilson. The winds typically stronger on the eastern side. Greenville, North Carolina, 40 to 50 miles per hour. I want you to pay close attention to the time on that. That's 5 p.m. this evening. So when a lot of people are headed home from work out on those roadways that have a lot of water, you're going to have to battle the wind as well. But Raleigh, this starts to improve by tomorrow.
We've never been so ready to get back out there. And with Copper Tone Sport, we can reclaim the boulders, the backwoods, and the breakers. Copper Tone Sport. Find your sun.
Style didn't always come easy. Until now. Made with athletic comfort and soft Italian leather. Step into the best of both worlds at wolfendshepherd.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Ditka. Did you know the average funeral costs around $10,000? And if you don't have enough insurance to cover funeral costs, credit card debt, and other expenses, your family's going to get stuck with a bill. Don't let that happen. Call the Life Insurance Savings Group right now. And if you're between 45 and 85, you can get up to $25,000 in affordable life insurance, and your acceptance is guaranteed.
That's right. If you're between 45 and 85, you can't be turned down for this insurance regardless of your health. Plus, there's no medical exam and no health questions. Your rate will never go up, your coverage will never go down, and rates start at less than $1 a day.
With the Life Insurance Savings Group, your coverage begins as soon as your application is received and accepted. Don't wait until it's too late.
Coverage continues until age 100 and cannot be canceled without your approval as long as premiums are paid, regardless of your health. And best of all, you can try it risk-free with our 60-day money-back guarantee.
Don't leave your family with a huge bill for your funeral. Call now and get up to $25,000 in affordable life insurance to help cover funeral expenses, credit card debt, and maybe even leave a little something for your kids and grandkids. Remember, if you're between 45 and 85, you can't be turned down, regardless of your health. There's no medical exam and no health questions.
Best of all, rates start at less than $1 a day, and your rate will never increase.
Nothing's more important than family. So don't leave them with a lot of bills to pay when you're gone.
Call the Life Insurance Savings Group at 800-771-2882 and get up to $25,000 in affordable life insurance. That's the Life Insurance Savings Group at 800-771-2882 or visit us at lifeinsurancesavings.com. Don't leave your family with a lot of bills to pay for your funeral. Call the Life Insurance Savings Group now. Your acceptance is guaranteed. Call now.
When fire and water threaten your home, hand the cleanup over to the team that stays with you every step of the way in your journey back. 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com, like it never even happened.
Heading back to the office this summer? Even if you're not home, the kids can still take swim lessons and play in tournaments, catch a show, and travel far, far away, even sleep under the stars. Because Care.com has lots of great sitters who can keep the kids happy, busy, and off the screens. Create summer camp at home because the best decisions are made with care. Find care for all you love. Join now.
Kids can change minds. They can even change the world around us. Packed with protein plus 21 vitamins and minerals, we nourish them with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. Because today could change everything.
Mother Nature gives you a warning sign, get ready for something big.
Let's get you the latest with Tropical Storm Elsa. This is the 11 o'clock advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Wind speeds up just a little bit, as well as the speed of Elsa now moving to the northeast at 20 miles per hour. That's some good news, though, because it is going to move across areas like Raleigh, as well as Richmond and Norfolk. You're up next. It's going to move through very, very quickly. But here's the problem. As it moves through, it's spinning up a few of those isolated tornadoes. So we do have a couple of warnings out right now, and we will continue to watch that very, very closely throughout the rest of the day. We're going to take you to the Torcon right now and what we've been seeing for this area, especially areas like Raleigh, Wilmington, Morehead City, Norfolk, the Hatteras Cape. You've got a Torcon of 3 today. It's a 2 back towards Raleigh. At any time, we could see one of these spin up. They happen just so quickly.
I know. And you saw that boardwalk packed at Ocean City, Maryland, and the weather's going to go downhill pretty soon, actually. So for now, enjoy that scene out there. But I hope everyone here knows what is coming. By later on this afternoon, we'll get some showers and storms in. Now, right now, some of the heaviest rain and the most concern for severe weather is with this tornado warning in Wayne County, Pikeville, Salston, Stony Creek. You're under this until 11:45. It's within, look, heavy rain. You won't see it coming. So go to your safe shelter. Do not look out the window. You want to get into your interior room away from walls and windows outside. Into the, you want to get into your basement if you have it, if not, interior bathroom or closet.
So even though it's radar indicated right now, that doesn't mean that it's not on the ground because, like you mentioned, you may not even be able to see it.
Right, exactly. So we're watching this area, and I've been watching how the velocity has shown us the rotation, or at least the apparent rotation, cycling a bit here. It doesn't look as tight as it once did just about 10 minutes ago, but certainly that could change yet again, which is why this warning remains in effect.
Well, we are going to time this out for you, and potentially for the next couple of hours, you have to be careful. Anywhere in this tornado watch, we're talking about Kingston, Jacksonville, Morehead City, all under a tornado watch until 3 p.m. local time.
Well, wind and waves from tropical storms like Elsa are one cause of beach erosion along the coast.
Meteorologist Alex Wilson, she shows us how the scope of the problem, how it can happen, and some of the factors behind it.
Ever head to the beach only to find a sand cliff where the beach used to be? It's actually a natural process called erosion, which can be found in coastal areas all around the U.S. It happens happens when the energy of moving water, like waves, pulls sand away from the shore and then deposits it in other places, like deeper water or another coastal area. This can occur gradually, but when the winds and waves kick up, erosion can be quick and dramatic, leaving behind lower and shorter beaches, or sometimes no coastline at all.
There were actually woods at one time. They came and they did hunting. There was lots of land before this occurred. You know, nature goes where it wants to go.
Shorelines that get tropical storms are more at risk than others because of a combination of high tide storm surge mixed with strong waves. But nature's protector, the sand dunes, help separate the lower beach from higher ground. The roots of the dune grasses help anchor the sand in place and keep water from going too far inland. Unfortunately, when humans build along the coast, it can damage those dunes and make erosion worse. And in turn, erosion can make it worse for humans. According to NOAA's U.S. Climate Resilience Toolkit, $500 million worth of coastal property is lost or damaged due to erosion every year. To mitigate that, the federal government spends an average of $150 million each year on beach nourishment and other control measures to try to protect the disappearing coastline. While beach erosion is mostly a natural process that's been happening for ages, human activity is speeding it up, which can cause flooding, damage to roads, and sometimes make entire buildings collapse into the ocean.
Tropical storm Elsa continues to barrel up the East Coast and is taking aim at places in the Northeast, like right here, Providence, Rhode Island. Providence, you are under a tropical storm warning right now. We could see tropical storm force winds by tomorrow whipping through. The other threat we're keeping an eye on is the potential for dangerous flash flooding. In areas that Elsa's moving through right now, like Charlotte, as well as portions of Virginia, Harrisonburg, you're like, hey, bring on the rain. We need the rain. In the Northeast, you're like, no, we don't need it anymore. We've seen days and days of thunderstorms. A flash flood watch out from Washington, D.C., across the Maryland area, Atlantic City, up into Philly, New York, Hartford, Boston, Trenton, all the way into Portland, and even up into Bangor, Maine. A huge area that Elsa's going to move through and pretty much riding right along the I-95 corridor. So this is Friday mornings. This is overnight tonight into very early tomorrow morning, moving through D.C., Atlantic City, pushing through New York very early tomorrow morning with some of those gusty winds. Even by 8 a.m., it's going to be a mess as you start off your morning in the tri-state area. So just be prepared. You are going to need extra time to get wherever you're going. You're going to have to battle those winds, torrential downpours, as well as potentially some isolated spin-up tornadoes like we always see with these landfalling systems. Boston, by tomorrow afternoon, things will get interesting for you and go downhill very quickly as Elsa races off to the north and to the northeast. If there's any good news in here is that this is a quick mover, but you could even have some afternoon storms that move in after that, just from the front that's going to help push Elsa along as well. So anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain widespread. We could see more around the New York area, Long Island. That's where we could see isolated amounts, 3 to 5 inches of rain. So flash flooding is likely. Have a way to get those warnings in case the water starts to rise in your area.
We made USAA insurance for members like Martin, an Air Force veteran made of doing what's right, not what's easy. So when a hailstorm hit, USAA reached out before he could even inspect the damage.
That's how you do it right.
USAA insurance is made just the way Martin's family needs it. With hassle-free claims, he got paid before his neighbor even got started. Because doing right by our members, that's what's right. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. Inside, outside, big or small, Angie helps you find the right solution for whatever you need done. With Angie, you can connect with top local pros and see ratings and reviews. Just search or scroll to see upfront pricing on hundreds of projects. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. It's easy to make your home an Angie home. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
When you first met K-12, you were one of a million students who chose public school at home, ready for new challenges.
Welcome. How are you today?
And tackling some you'd already set for yourself. Here, you were someone, and you could become anyone. K-12's commitment was to help you get where you want to be. Congratulations, graduates. K-12, tuition-free schools. They may not be for everyone, but they're here for anyone. Education for anyone.
It's time for Sleep Number's lowest prices of the season on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. It's the most comfortable, body sensing, automatically responding, energy building, dually adjustable, dad powering, wellness boosting, foot warming, temperature balancing, recovery assisting, effortlessly life-changing, proven quality night's sleep we've ever made. And now the new Queen Sleep Number 360 C2 smart bed is only $8.99, only for a limited time. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
Command Adjustables products can be repositioned up to 3 times, so you can get it just right. Command, do no harm.
The Bissell Crosswave Cordless Max lets you vacuum and wash your floors at the same time. Dry messes, wet messes. It even freshens area rugs.
And when you buy Bissell, you help save homeless pets.
To learn more, go to BissellCrosswave.com.
Are you looking for a new career with real growth potential? Spectrum is hiring. Whether you're looking to help customers, share knowledge, make connections, or enjoy uncapped earning potential, we have a role for you. So if you're ready to start a career with a company that offers comprehensive benefits, 401k, and complimentary services, visit jobs.spectrum.com today.
666-6666. Number 6. Going to the airport. Number 6. Right around town. Call Carmel. Shopping on the way. Number 6. The best ride in town. So wherever you want to go, Carmel is a number to know. Ride Carmel and be on time. Worldwide and nationwide. 666-6666. Remember 6. Oh my God! Evacuate immediately!
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High 84. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, showers and thunder showers likely. Low 72. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Friday, rain. High 88. Rainfall around 1/4 inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Let's get you the latest on Elsa right now. You can see roaring past Raleigh, bringing a slug of moisture through Wilmington, Hatteras, Morehead City, and starting to move into the Virginia area. Now, Jen, some people in Virginia, they've been a little bit dry lately. They're thinking we could use some rain from Elsa. Right. It might be a little too much of a good thing, but there is a lot of rain moving past the Raleigh area, up I-85, up I-95. It's going to be pretty much all of the cities along I-95 that have to pay attention to Elsa over the next 2 days.
I mean, it's always like, be careful what you ask for, right? And we're really seeing this starting to move in fast. Look at Norfolk, Virginia. The outer reaches already now bringing up the moisture and some thunderstorms coming in with that extreme outer band.
We have seen some spin-ups as well, but I do want to point out that the tornado warning we had earlier in Wayne County, North Carolina, that has since been expired. Yes. So that's good news.
Look at how far-reaching this is. I mean, how big the system's really expanded now that it's moving up through the mid-Atlantic all the way to Roanoke. You're in this outer band up here to the north and west, and that was the case in the Atlanta metro yesterday, where you picked up 3 inches of rain in one of those. So even on the large scale extent, you could pick up some really heavy rain, but the core of it will bring most of the rain.
That's why we have a flash flood watch out, and it's for those areas that can pick up that really impressive rainfall totals with just one band moving through.
Right. So let's track it. We're going to put the cone on here, which is for we're the center of circulation and then show you the extent of the impacts, which is well outside of the cone. And obviously right now, Raleigh, you're in the thick of it here. But by the time we get to tonight, improvement, then we turn our attention to the Northeast.
And that's an area that has seen more than enough rain, more than enough storms, still dealing with some power outages. And on top of that, Elsa's going to move right through.
Yeah.
The wind is going to be an issue across North Carolina for a lot of today. I want you to watch how it picks up across the Greenville, North Carolina area, as well as along the Cape, where we could see wind gusts 50 miles per hour.
50 miles per hour. That, look, if there's a tree with weak roots, take it down. So that's something we're certainly concerned about.
Well, torrential downpours are causing some serious problems along the Texas Gulf Coast. South Padre Island under a flash flood watch until at least tomorrow night. Nearby McAllen Miller International Airport recorded a record-breaking 4.63 inches of rain there just yesterday. But we have some areas, Jen, that have seen much more. Padre Island, just outside of Corpus Christi, 3-day rainfall total close to 18 inches.
It's impressive people out here on the beach at South Padre. I mean, I guess, look, if it's your week on vacation, you're going to find any kind of window you can to get out there on the beach. But tremendous rainfall totals. And unfortunately, 8, 12, there was even some reports of close to 18 inches of rain.
And we do expect more, anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain for a lot of these areas, still moving in over the next 24 hours. And this atmosphere, it is primed and ready to drop a lot of rain.
You made a good point earlier. We were talking about the outlook from the Hurricane Center, that there is actually, they're watching this area, even though it's overland and it's got a 0% chance of developing. But you think about all the moisture we have in place, very tropical in nature, and the fact that there has been, somewhat of a vortex, a spin to it, overland, but, nonetheless, it's causing a lot of rain.
A warm core system, which is what tropical systems are. So this is a very tropical situation over South Texas. It's got the moisture there. We've got the rain streaming in from the Gulf of Mexico and pushing right into Corpus Christi, Victoria, Freeport, where that flash flooding is very likely.
All right, so we're watching this area today. Just saw a new flash flood warning come out down here in Aransas and B counties. So we're watching, look how it's expanded where the flash flood warnings are. We're watching all this moisture come on shore, but there's that big plume over the Gulf.
Thankfully, that is over the Gulf right now, but eventually it's going to move up into areas like Louisiana and potentially wrap around into Houston.
It's pointed right at Lake Charles, so we'll see how much of that lifts there before it kind of curves around to the west. But unfortunately, this area not looking like it's going to dry out until we get to the weekend.
Well, we do want to move up to the Northeast where lightning brightened the sky over Howell, New Jersey. The Northeast has gotten several rounds of severe storms like this one over the last week. The storm brought on wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. As Elsa moves in today, you could see wind gusts stronger than that, especially tomorrow.
Yeah, the thunderstorms are no joke up here. Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, you guys saw that yesterday. You may again today. The Northeast, get ready. We're going to see some trees down because of this too. And I know all attention seems to always be on something with a name, which is Elsa, but look at all these thunderstorms already going at this early hour.
Already a flash flood warning in the tri-state area where we've seen rainfall, lightning, gusty winds. The lightning going to be an issue today as well.
Yes, indeed. That's going to keep you out of the pools for sure. Poughkeepsie, Newburgh, the entire Capital District up here dealing with some heavier rain too as you get up towards Albany. But take a look at this with this flash flood warning. Kingston, New Paltz, and Socrates all under this. This area has just been so saturated from now 2 days in a row of thunderstorms.
And we still have rain moving across Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh was an area that got hit hard yesterday. And look at the more storms moving in, firing up in the heat of the day. There's a lot of heat in the Northeast right now. We've seen heat indices.
It's been oppressive.
90s to triple digits. It's been feeling gross. And then look at this. Here comes Elsa.
You bring up Elsa right on top of all of that. So with everything so saturated, after now will be 3 days of storms, we bring in a tropical system. Flash flooding concerns tomorrow morning from New Jersey up to the tri-state New York. Get ready. We'll have updates right here on the Weather Channel.
Well. Look at you. You mastered the master bath. You created your own style. And you, yes you, turned a sourdough starter into a sourdough finisher. So when you learn your chronic dry eye is actually caused by reduced tear production due to inflammation, you take it on by talking to your eye care professional about Restasis, which may help you make more of your own tears with continued use twice a day, every day. Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, do not touch the bottle tip to your eye or other surfaces. Wait 15 minutes after use before inserting contact lenses. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation. Ask your eye care professional about Restasis. Now to trick out these lights. Visit Restasis.com to learn more.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here, and if you're on Medicare, this is important. You're now entitled to eliminate copays and get dental care, dentures, eyeglasses, prescription coverage, in-home aids, unlimited transportation, and home-delivered meals, all at no additional cost. Plus, your zip code may have coverage with the Give Back benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month.
I called to get dental, transportation, meals, and the gift back benefit.
With this virus situation, I called to get everything I'm entitled to. I couldn't believe I was missing out on so many benefits.
With the uncertainty of the virus, you need to get everything you're entitled to. Millions of people have trusted the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-346-4800. That's 1-800-346-4800 now.
I'm not ready to lose my hair. Not now. But I never thought there was a real solution. Now I use Keeps, the easiest way to keep my hair. And I can get my treatment without leaving the couch. Go to Keeps.com to learn more.
So when in doubt, just say, let me talk to my manager.
Next, Carvana's 100% online shopping experience. Carvana lets people buy a car, get this, from their couch. Oh, how disruptive.
No salesman there to help me pick out the car I need.
When how does anyone find a car on this site without someone like us checking in?
She's a beauty.
Oh, golly.
I can help you find the color you want.
That sounds nice.
Let me talk to my manager.
Buy your next car 100% online with Carvana.
This is what 30 minutes of boot camp tastes like. Come on, Peloton. Let it flow. Reach all the way up.
Check your vibe. It's time to grind, Peloton. Let's turn it up. Come on.
What's up, hustlers? Welcome to Peloton Outdoor. Let's get jogging.
Find your rhythm, baby. 1, 2, 1, 2. So many Peloton newbies on the leaderboard today. Welcome to the family.
The Peloton bike starting at $49 a month. All access membership separate.
We're Thrive Cosmetics. We create high-performance, cruelty-free, 100% vegan formulas. And we love that you love our products, like our award-winning Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. Plus, with every product you purchase, we donate to help a woman thrive. Join our movement today at thrivecosmetics.com.
Yeah, so I feel like Jim Cantori right now, walking around out here in a tropical storm. Elsa has arrived. As you can see, we have got
I mean, what a mess.
Doing his own report there in the mess, of course. Many people will be saying something just like this. As Elsa crashes summer plans on the East Coast, the second landfalling tropical system of the year has made quite the mess in Florida and Georgia, and now it has its sights set on the early part of your weekend.
Yeah, we're tracking storm alerts from one end of the I-95 corridor to the other. We're with you here until 1 o'clock. Thanks for staying with us so we can keep you informed. I'm meteorologist Jen Carfagno.
And I'm meteorologist Molly McCullum. Those summer storms, major flooding, and of course, Elsa is making for a messy Thursday as you prepare for the weekend.
Yeah, we go from the Tar Heel State to Hampton Roads right up to Beantown. Elsa's going to bring a host of problems as we round out this first full week of July.
And it's not just those beach communities that will get walloped by the wind and the rain. The storm will crash inland parties as it links up with another system moving in from the west. It's the very same system that's been plaguing the Northeast for a couple of days. The center of Elsa is bringing torrential rains to the Carolinas. Power outages are growing in the Carolinas. Right now, nearly 17,000 customers do not have electricity there. Tropical storm warnings extend north into parts of the Mid-Atlantic and New England. PSE&G is preparing crews for Elsa's arrival tomorrow as it works to restore power to remaining customers from yesterday's storms. So Jen, Elsa now has been a named storm for 8 days.
Yeah.
That's unusual for July.
It's the most that we've had actually since 2008 to have this many named storm days in the month of July. And so for us here tracking it along the East Coast here, hopefully this doesn't surprise you, but I know if you've been watching us, we've been talking about this now going on a week with this potential to see it go up right the eastern seaboard. And, we're watching, the forecast really on target. It's impressive. I shared on social media just how good the National Hurricane Center's forecast was going back out several days ago, bringing it get right up the I-95, seeing these tropical storm force conditions here, and we are looking at all of the concerns. The concerns include the risk for a tornado. Now, we have a tornado watch that goes until 3 o'clock. A watch means conditions are prime for the potential of tornadoes. When there's a warning, there means one is imminent. And we do have a new warning that has been issued. This includes parts of Franklin and Nash County. This is in North Carolina. It includes Castalia, Nashville in North Carolina, and Red Oak. It goes until 12:30. It is radar indicated, but you can see the rotation right in there, just south of Route 64. So this is moving to the north and west, northwest, and we're tracking it move very fast. We're going to time it out for you in Dukes 12:06, Castalia 12:11, Centerville 12:23, and Inez at 12:29. Now, as this tracks up in this direction, know there's a lot of rain. You won't see it coming. Don't look out your window. Just go ahead and get into your safe shelter, interior room. If you have a basement, that's great. If not, an inside closet or bathroom would be the safest place to be. A lot of rain out here, actually, stretching all the way down I-95. I mean, this is a headache of a ride, pretty much from Fayetteville straight north to Virginia. And now in Virginia, we're getting into some of the steadier rain, which is going to make things, I think, pretty complicated when it comes for driving out there. Because with this, we're going to have showers and storms. All the way now, there's outer bands lifting up into the Norfolk area. Virginia Beach, your sky is getting stormy. Roanoke and Travel in 81, we are getting into some rain and storms, all because of the circulation from Elsa. It's a big circulation. The tropical storm force conditions actually extend out 115 miles from the center, and a lot of it on the eastern side is where we're getting the bulk of it. I want to show you where we got these outer bands. That's what you got to watch for this potential of tornadoes, but also for some of the heaviest of rain as we're just kind of cranking in all that Atlantic moisture. All right, Molly, let's get into some specifics about what comes next.
We've had a lot of storm reports, Jen, and we can actually track Elsa as it moves from Key West all the way across the Gulf Coast of Florida, across Jacksonville, producing those gusty winds, some surge reports, as well as some tornado reports, especially across the Jacksonville area and continuing up into the Georgia and South Carolina coast. Some of the wind gusts have been very, very impressive, and that does include one of the more recent ones near Hilton Head Island. Look at this. 81 miles per hour. And typically, this is an area that you really don't see wind like that. It's very calm across Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. So to see that kind of wind, that's extremely impressive. But you do see those stronger winds typically on the coast where you have less friction over the water than you do over land with the buildings and the trees. It just allows those winds to pick up and slam into those coastal areas. The footprint of rain, Key West, especially Fort Myers, Tampa, Jacksonville, you can pretty much follow Elsa as it's moved across these areas with more of the heavy rain on the eastern side of this. And that does include Fort Myers, Sanibel, Port Charlotte, and Punta Gorda, seeing our highest rainfall amount with just over 11 inches of rain. You actually set a daily record rainfall in Gainesville, Florida, as this passed through. So here's the latest on Elsa. The pressure up a little bit, as well as the speed is up, and the sustained winds, 45 miles per hour, pushing across Raleigh right now. Raleigh, you're really in the worst of it. Things will improve later in the day, but Richmond, as well as portions of Virginia, you are up next. And this is where Elsa is on satellite right now. You can see that swirl pushing across Charlotte into Raleigh, with a lot of the storm centered across the Carolina coast, with some strong winds gusting to 40 right now in Myrtle Beach. So those tropical storm conditions are expected tonight in Virginia, where coastal communities are putting the final touches on preps for Elsa. And this includes Virginia Beach, which right now under a tropical storm warning. We're joined live by Drew Langford, Media and Communications with the City Department of Public Works. So thank you so much, Drew, for joining us again this hour. Elsa will be the Virginia Beach's first brush with tropical weather this season. So what are your crews focusing in on the hours ahead, the last few hours before Elsa moves in?
Well, we got started earlier in the week. We've had crews going out checking most of the trouble areas that are prone to flooding. We've had additional crews out cleaning ditches, doing vacuuming storm drains. So we did a lot as far as having crews out going to trouble spots. The last 24 to 48 hours, we've also had our maintenance crews. They've already started loading trucks with high water signs. We've got another crew that'll be on call all night. We have gone and checked some of the neighborhoods that are most prone to flooding, and people that have made them a priority for the people that have called with complaints.
So you mentioned those trouble spots, those problem spots. Which ones are you focusing on? Because I know the people who live in Virginia Beach, they're probably very accustomed to these trouble spots. But what about the people vacationing? They may not know where the waters rise very quickly.
Well, if they're vacationing here, that's not, I mean, there could be a chance, I think, more with wind than anything and high tide. But a lot of the trouble spots are going to be around the area, the Shore Drive area, which runs parallel to Chesapeake Bay. And then we have a southern part of our city that runs right up to the North Carolina line. Very low lying. It's a real confluence there of the Albemarle Sound, Currituck Sound, Back Bay. So we have, if the winds come in strongly from the south, we could have a fair amount of flooding down there, and it doesn't even have to rain, just the southern winds with all that area.
That's a good point with those southern winds, too. You're also going to get some rip currents off the coast. So Virginia Beach, beautiful beach. How is your city preparing for the beaches as Elsa starts to move in?
Well, we're keeping an eye on the storm today. We took a few precautionary measures yesterday. We went to work sites, made sure everything was tied down. We've been looking at the beach, and we're going to probably do another run through this afternoon. If the winds look like they're going to be stronger than we anticipate, we'll probably take care of a few things on the ocean front, on the beach itself, and take in trash cans, tie down what needs to be tied down. Right now, looks like if the forecast holds out, we'll get a fair amount of rain. In fact, it's just started raining here. We'll get a fair amount of rain and a lot of wind, but a lot of times when you have them in combination, that can be a real problem.
Well, Elsa, just starting to move in now, you mentioned that the rain is just starting to fall. What is some of your last-minute advice for how residents can be ready both before, I guess that's now, and after the storm?
Well, like I said, as far as wind and rain, we have a concern about trees falling. A lot of times when that's a problem, you have power outages. So the basic advice we always tell people as far as getting the supplies you need, including flashlights, batteries, have things ready, some kind of kit. We also ask people, once the storm starts coming in, if you don't have to be on the road, stay off, because we have a lot of crews getting around, and the less traffic that's out there, the better for us.
Well, so many beautiful trees in Virginia, and of course they can come down so easily, as you mentioned. Drew Langford, Media Communications with the Virginia Beach Department of Public Works. Thank you so much for joining us this hour and last hour, too. Elsa is spawning storms across the First Coast as a waterspout churns off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida. You can see the spout in the distance dipping down into the water. I'm honestly surprised, Jen, that you're able to see this because the rain is so intense when these come through that typically you cannot see them, but you can see it right out that window there. And this person is smart, taking it from inside as opposed to outside.
And things could change so rapidly, actually. And we had a number of tornado reports yesterday across northeastern Florida, the First Coast right there, Jacksonville area, and inland just a little bit too, and also in southeast Georgia. So there was at least 5 reports of tornadoes. There'll be surveys done today and probably likely tomorrow too. Again, very busy across this area too. But one area hit was an RV park. There was some injuries, unfortunately. So I want to continue to urge caution when we do have these tornado warnings like we have right now. Actually, there is one that is just to the west of I-95. Let's look at the whole area under a watch, because first and foremost, when you're under a watch, that means that conditions are ripe for tornadoes, and you're watching that right front quadrant. When you have a system, a tropical system that's on land, that's the area that's most prone to it. So then you get a warning once the threat is imminent. When you have a warning, that's when you need to go into your shelter. But today we're watching for that zone, and Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, you've got improved weather. This area, though, up to the north, Norfolk, we're in that extreme outer fringes of it. The Virginia Beach area where the rain is just beginning, you're in the outer fringes for now. The weather will get worse before it gets better, and we do have a 3 on the Torcon across this area. So I want to time this out and take it up to the north, because we are going to be watching for this one in particular band here that extends out to the Atlantic Ocean. Watching this bringing a lot of the rain, but also we'll see cells within that with that potential for rotation as we get into the later afternoon hours. By tonight, it's out of here and much improved weather for you tomorrow morning by the time you come across this area. Quick look, though, those winds changing with height is why we do have that risk across this area for tornadoes. And it's a very classic situation, actually, when it comes to a tropical landfall. Mostly very short-lived, very weak, but they can spin up fast. You just need to be ready for getting those warnings. All right, let's focus in on the Carolinas and some of that rainfall, Molly.
Well, Jen, if the wind and the tornado spin-ups weren't enough, we have to focus on the water now. Tropical systems drop a lot of water, and Elsa is no exception, where we have a flash flood watch in areas like Raleigh up to Richmond, Virginia, even extending into Baltimore and Ocean City, Maryland. This is the center of Elsa, so this is the cone. You always have to remember that the cone is tracking the center of the storm, and the impacts well outside of that, especially on the eastern side. So the center tracking right over Raleigh, right across the Virginia area, and this is going to pull a lot of rain just to the east of Raleigh into the coast. 3 to 5 inches of rain just on the outside of Raleigh on the North Carolina-Virginia border. We could see some isolated amounts higher than that, though, where we see repeated heavy rainfall. We call that training of thunderstorms, where we start to see the lightning. Those rainfall rates typically go up big time. Wind gusts also an issue. So Myrtle Beach gusting close to 40 miles per hour right now. That will continue up Wilmington, even into Greenville, North Carolina. Those wind speeds picking up significantly over the next couple of hours. That is going to make for a treacherous ride home. Hatteras Cave, this is 8 p.m. this evening, 40 to 50 miles per hour, and that extends up into the Norfolk area, where you could see those really, really gusty winds as Elsa passes through. This is going to pick up speed, though, and move out by Friday morning. You'll start to see some improvements. Where we will not see improvements is on the beaches. Even after Elsa moves through, some really strong onshore flow getting pulled up. And of course, as Elsa passes, it's going to churn up a lot of that water, and it's going to be rough surf for a couple of days. Not great to get out in the water. Savannah, Charleston, Wilmington, give it a couple of days. Allow the water to calm down a little bit in some of those rip currents. Charlotte, the worst is over for you right now, but you could see some showers on the backside of this as we get into the evening time frame, anywhere from about 6 to 9 p.m. this evening. Raleigh in the thick of it right now, but this will continue to improve over the next couple of hours as this lifts up the I-95 corridor, and the same deal as what we saw in Charlotte. Some wraparound showers possible on the backside of this, but Raleigh, you are almost done. Jen, where we are not almost done is the Northeast, where it's about to start.
Yeah, well, and actually we're going to get a couple of different types of weather, because first we get into the thunderstorms like we've had the last 2 nights, and then we get into the Elsa rain. Flood watch is up, flash flood watch is up, I should say, because of that. And Boston, just checking your totals of where you are this month, because it's been rainy, but it's even rainier than I thought, and I keep tabs on it. You've had more than 5 inches of rain. That's 4 inches of rain above average. So it has been a wet start to July, and here comes more. So first of all, we're going to start the clock. This is 1 a.m. overnight tonight, and knowing that we're going to be getting some showers and storms later this evening. But then tomorrow morning you wake up and all this rain is lifting north through New Jersey, right along the Garden State Parkway, getting into New York City area for tomorrow morning. A mess of a commute. The entire tri-state is going to be inundated with heavy rainfall. All roads leading into New York City, all airports are going to be dealing with the rain tomorrow morning as well. And then this is all lifting up towards southern New England too, including Boston and down through Providence and Rhode Island. We've got some heavy rain coming your way, sticking with us through the later morning and early afternoon hours, and then lifting up into Maine. All right, so that's what's happening in the Northeast as we get to tomorrow. Molly, what's the latest on the radar right now?
Tornado warning. This is breaking right now for portions of North Carolina. This is in the Greenville area. We want to zoom into this latest tornado warning, and this extends until 12:45 local time. So if you live in Snow Hill, that circulation is just to the north of you, pushing towards the Farmville area into Spites Bridge. If you live anywhere in this red area, go ahead and take those tornado precautions. It looks like that area, that circulation, the rotation is right over US 13 right now. Do not get out and travel. Just give it a few minutes to pass. This is timing this out. We're looking at Farmville, 12:23, Fountain, 12:21 local time, Saratoga, 12:33, and this will continue into the Rocky Mount area if it does hold together. An additional warning for Franklin and Nash counties until 12:30 Eastern time.
When you order carry-out, choose Domino's Carside Delivery. Check in when you arrive, and we guarantee we'll be headed out the door less than 2 minutes after your order is ready. If anything slows us down, your next pizza is free. Choose Domino's Carside Delivery and put our new 2-minute guarantee to the test.
Sweaty in bed for all the wrong reasons? Chic's Performance Sheets keep you cool, even on the hottest summer nights. Chic's are the world's most breathable, moisture-wicking, ridiculously soft sheets with superior stretch.
Go to trycheeks.com to save over $100 today.
So many people are overweight now and asking themselves, why can't I lose weight? For most, the reason is insulin resistance, and they don't even know they have it. Conventional starvation diets don't address insulin resistance. That's why they don't work. Now there's Golo. Golo helps with insulin resistance, getting rid of sugar cravings, helps control stress and emotional eating, and losing weight. Go to Golo.com and see how Golo can change your life. That's GOLO.com.
Phil Swift here for Flex Paste, the incredible rubberized paste. Right out of the tub, it clings to the surface, and it instantly fills gaps and holes.
Flex Paste dries to a strong, flexible rubber, perfect for sealing RVs and campers. Use it to help prevent flood damage, stop rodents from getting in your home, or even crafts and hobbies. Get Flex Paste and the Flex Seal family of products at these fine retailers.
Hi, I'm Jimmy J.J. Walker. If you're on Medicare, listen to this. I called the 1-800 number to see what extra Medicare benefits I could get. An actual person answered, looked up my zip code, and boom, I was offered extra benefits like dental coverage, including dentures, extractions, fillings, plus prescriptions, transportation, meals, and so much more, all at no additional cost. And then I asked about the benefit that adds money to my Social Security check. And get this, I'm entitled to an extra $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year added to my Social Security check. And I was like, dynamite. Call the 1-800 number on the screen and see what you may be entitled to. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-510-0241. That's 1-800-510-0241 now.
The Bissell Crosswave Cordless Max lets you vacuum and wash your floors at the same time. Dry messes, wet messes. It even freshens area rugs.
And when you buy Bissell, you help save homeless pets.
To learn more, go to BissellCrosswave.com.
At K-12, I'm one
of a million students
who've chosen public school at home, where I get personalized attention and learn in a place that works for me.
These schools may not be for everyone, but they're here for anyone. K-12, education for anyone.
Jade makes people do crazy things.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
This
Dry eye symptoms keep driving you crazy? Inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Let's kick Ken's ache and burn into gear.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Those drops will probably pass right by me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra! No!
It can provide lasting relief. Xiidra is the only FDA-approved non-steroid treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Be proactive about managing your symptoms by talking to your doctor about twice daily Xiidra like I did.
I prefer you didn't.
Xiidra. Not today, dry eye.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 82 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High 85. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely. Low 72. Rainfall near an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It seemed like a normal day.
I looked up at the sky and I seen the darkness coming.
I got an alert on my phone, and then all hell broke loose. Oh,
it was complete chaos.
Go, go! There's no way you can outrun it.
Mother Nature gives you a warning sign. Get ready for something big.
I've never seen anything like that.
I had no idea what had just happened.
You just hang on for dear life and hope for the best.
I want to get you right to some breaking news in North Carolina right now, where we're watching 2 tornado warnings. This is on the east side of Tropical Storm Elsa. Zooming in a little bit closer, we want to talk about these specifically, where they are and where they're moving. We'll start with the southern one. This is in portions of Greene as well as Pitt County, moving towards Farmville. Snow Hill, this area, the circulation is just to the north of you. Also, if you live in the Fountain area, this is coming your way. Walstenburg, you're also in the Polygon, and quite the impressive signature on there just to the east of Spites Bridge, moving over US 13, passing over US 264 very soon here. Timing this out in Fountain around 1230, Driver's Store 1239, and eventually pushing into Elm City around 1253 if this holds together. That green color, that's the winds pushing towards the radar, and the red away, you get those opposing motions, and of course that's where you get those spin ups. So we're watching that very closely. Let's head to the northern one, another tornado warning with another impressive signature. This is for Franklin and Nash County, so the city of Centerville. You want to be very careful with this storm as this is headed pretty much right in your direction, right across the area of Castalia. That's where we're watching that rotation. This is not nearly as impressive as the one to the south, but still seeing some broad rotation in there just to the east of Castalia. That's where we're watching this one area. So anywhere in this polygon, you do want to take your tornado precautions very seriously, because these do spin up quickly. You will not see them coming, and it's possible we could see more as we go throughout the afternoon. And if you live in the northeast, you want to be prepared, because this is all part of Tropical Storm Elsa, and it will be headed your way. It's going to be a stormy couple of days in the northeast, where crews are still clearing out debris and damage from severe storms this week, and more are on the way today before Elsa arrives. Both Baltimore and New York City face flash flood watches today. So Jen, let's get the timing on this, because that's everything.
Yeah, I know. And they're so hot and hazy and humid right now, too. We've got temperatures in the 80s, maybe not as hot as we've been the last 2 days, but we're definitely feeling the stickiness out here. Dew points up in the 70s, and we got tropical air coming our way. So I want to time this out and show you where it's tracking along the I-95. Travelers, this is for you. I know a lot of folks are hitting the road, and we are going to watch right around the Baltimore and D.C. area, a couple of showers and storms popping, non-related to Elsa. This is just, we're into the summertime storms up here today. Then we get into some of the moisture as we get into this evening. So this is 8 o'clock. You can see that edge of it right out here. A lot of it tracks just off to our east. And so for us in Baltimore and D.C., where I think we're going to escape the worst of the heavy rainfall, that is not going to be the case, though, on I-95 everywhere in the northeast. We'll jump up to Philly, where we'll be in those scattered showers, those summer storms this afternoon and early evening. Then we get into the moisture from Elsa coming up here. And this rain, it will be heavy at times overnight. Look at all of this coming on in. So I-95 and traveling in Jersey, whether it's Atlantic City Expressway heading out there or in the Garden State Parkway, going to be a mess with heavy rain through the overnight. Now, it's somewhat good news, right? Because most of you are sleeping during that time, and during the morning, things will be improving pretty quickly. Although New York City, the morning is going to be the worst timing for us. It's about 6 a.m. when we get everything coming together. Although this does not look good, right? This is not a good look for these nasty storms coming in yet again for the third night in a row here through the northeast, up into Connecticut, Stafford area, a lot of trees down. That could happen again with these storms that blast on through. And then we get into the Elsa rain. This is tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Look at all roads wet leading in and out of the tri-state through at least early afternoon. And then another round of scattered showers and storms may pop again, unrelated to the tropical system, but just know that we have a very active time of it coming our way here across this area. Boston, too, is another one that we have to look at, Molly.
Well, we do want to talk about the big picture, Jen, because there's a couple of factors at play here. When it comes to the Midwest and the Northeast, of course, we have Elsa. You just heard Jen talking about that. But also, this is a front. You can see this on water vapor. It's splitting the difference between Chicago all the way down to Cincinnati and pushing very quickly to the east. And this is where it's firing up once again. Showers and storms, even this morning. It's been a rough morning in Indianapolis with a lot of lightning, some of those gusty winds, torrential downpours. Also a strong storm pushing through Cleveland right now. A lot of lightning just to the west of Cleveland. All of that is moving in. And of course, we're continuing to watch the tri-state area in portions of New York, where we have a flash flood warning, repeated heavy rainfall. That's going to be the name of the game for the next couple of days. You've already seen a couple of days of thunderstorms. At this point, any additional rain that falls, it's falling on saturated soil. When that happens, it immediately becomes runoff. Where does that water go? Typically, it happens to flow out onto the roadways, making driving very dangerous. Storms firing up across Pennsylvania, up into Scranton today. And then here comes Elsa later this evening through the Washington, D.C. area. Late tonight, blowing through Philly as well as New York City early tomorrow morning. And behind that, we still have some ongoing rain for the Pittsburgh area. We are very concerned about the flash flooding, not only across the tri-state area, New York, up into portions of Connecticut, but also anywhere across the Northeast. Have to be careful today. And those possible thunderstorms firing up right now, that will continue into the afternoon. And we'll keep you updated right here on the Weather Channel.
Smile. At Southern New Hampshire University, we're committed to making college more affordable. That's why we're keeping our tuition the same through the year 2021.
I knew SNHU was the place for me when I saw how affordable it was.
Find your degree at snhu.edu.
Men everywhere are now cutting their hair at home. Are you? Introducing MicroTouch Titanium Trim, the all-new at-home hair cutting tool and precision groomer. Just a trim or a full haircut. Now, cutting hair is as easy as combing hair.
It's the only way to cut your hair by yourself. I don't know how people can do it with clippers. It's impossible. With this, it's way easier.
I did this at home. If you can comb it, you can cut it.
Like a comb, making it easy to cut your own hair with confidence. Now, if you can comb it, you can cut it. Snap on a comb to dial in the perfect length for your style. Long, medium, or short. And just comb and cut for pro-level results at home.
I just pop on that comb and I get a perfect trim every time. I literally can't make a mistake. I can give myself a professional at-home haircut how I like it.
Sometimes I just need a little bit off, and that's what's great about this product. You have these guards, and you just take a little bit off. Okay, I'm good.
Now, if you can comb it, you can cut it. Snap off the comb and edge sideburns and beards. Or clear your neck and shoulders with zero irritation. And look, titanium trim extends a full 40 millimeters for those hard-to-reach areas. Nothing else comes close.
I thought it was really cool that it can extend. It really helps.
That extra little extension made it so easy. I would never use any other clippers. This is the one to use.
Micro-polished stainless steel blades bonded with titanium. Precision-engineered comb attachments. Built-in extension handle with a non-slip grip and LED spotlight. Just comb it and cut it with MicroTouch Titanium Trim. Order online now at titaniumtrim.com or call 1-800-453-1220.
Nobody can get to their barber as much as they'd like anymore, but now you don't have to.
If you don't have it, you better get it.
The revolutionary, all-new MicroTouch Titanium Trim.
When I grew up having dogs, we always fed them kibble. It just seemed like the thing to do.
I should have known that whatever you put in your body makes a huge difference. With Farmer's Dog, it was a complete 180.
It's just so fresh that she literally gets bubbles in her mouth.
You could identify the turkey.
It smells like actual food. As he's aged, he's still quite youthful. I really attribute that to diet.
Good boy, yes.
Get 50% off your first box at longlivedogs.com.
Ray loves vacations, but his diabetes never seemed to take one. Everything felt like a no. Everything. But then Ray went from no to no. With Freestyle Libre 14-Day, now he knows his glucose levels when he needs to and when he wants to. So Ray can be Ray. Take the mystery out of your glucose levels and lower your A1C. Now you know. Try it for free. Visit freestylelibre.us.
Oh my God! Evacuate immediately!
We are tracking Elsa up the East Coast. Look at those dark skies in Wilmington right now with some heavy rain moving through. Here's what we know right now. Elsa is to blame for at least one death in the U.S. One person was killed by a falling tree in Jacksonville, Florida yesterday. power outages, a big problem. Right now, nearly 23,000 customers without power in Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. PSE&G is preparing crews for Elsa's arrival in the Northeast tomorrow as it works to restore power to remaining customers from yesterday's thunderstorms.
I know.
And the day before that. I mean, you can't catch a break.
That's the thing. We've had 2 nasty days of severe weather, really from Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, and then all the way to the Northeast. And now we bring in the tropical moisture. So there's a lot to get to. Thanks for trusting us here at the Weather Channel to get you through the midday hours as we track Elsa and several other threats across America.
It's the first week of July, if you can believe that, with how intense it's been so far.
It feels like September, honestly.
It feels like it's really late. But it's been a busy start. And Elsa leaving quite a bit of destruction in its trek up the eastern seaboard. Massive RVs were flipped over at Kings Bay Base in Georgia yesterday. RVs, mobile homes, unacred homes, never a good place to be in when a tornado comes through. In Jacksonville, Florida, a possible tornado tore through, leaving a trail of destruction behind. And there are reports of tree limbs down in several states now, and probably more to come.
Yeah, you know, we're watching for, unfortunately, the rainfall still heavy at times. The winds are still gusty, but that threat of tornadoes still there. And that's really what causes the kind of damage like you saw, right? So let's look at first the big scale picture with the wind. Myrtle Beach, we are still gusty, 37 miles per hour.
It's been like that for several hours now.
Since after midnight.
To near 40. And that's the fact that Elsa, the center of it, is to your north now. But we can see that along a lot of the coast as Elsa lifts out, the winds will probably pick up. Tornado watch in effect for areas in North Carolina. This is where we're seeing some active tornado warnings right now. And that does include just to the north of Kingston. We've been watching this one area, Farmville, Fountain, as well as Spites Bridge, under that tornado warning until 12:45 local time.
All right, let's take a look at the velocity. At the moment, right in there. You see that where we have that reflectivity with a little gray popping in, where we just have a little change in the wind compared to where it was coming from. And so that's going to be the spot to watch. It's a small area, right? And that is the thing about tropical tornadoes is they're usually small in nature. They're usually quick. Most of the time they're weak, although they can be stronger. And I believe it was in North Carolina 2 years ago that we had one that was actually an EF3.
They can become very strong.
So, I mean, you got to just be prepared for everything, right? Which is why you seek shelter when you're under a warning.
And anywhere along this area, Farmville 1224, Fountain 1234, up into the Mercer area 1259, and eventually into Sharpsburg if it does hold together a little bit later than that.
Oh,
but on top
looks like they've extended
there we
north
go.
of there.
Yeah. And it's because that area, as you were pointing out on the velocity, is a little bit tighter right now, and it has maintains its intensity so far. So we're extending this tornado warning to 1 p.m. into areas like Edgecombe as well as into the Wilson area. This is observed.
So this is observed. Matt, do you know if it's observed on the correlation coefficient? Or is there an update on that warning? Let's take a look. Let's see. Overall, so what we're looking for here, the correlation coefficient shows us if there's anything different other than rain being shown and if there's debris, right? And so nothing's popping out. You usually match up, if you can match up the velocity signature with something on the correlation coefficient, then that would be a radar observed tornado. So I'm guessing from this warning, because I haven't been able to look at it, that it is most likely, or that's it right there.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, south of McLeesfield. So this is a radar observed confirmation on this.
And when you start to see this, that means the tornado has hit something and it's now lofting some of that debris into the air. So Edgecombe, Wilson counties, because this is now an observed indication that we have seen this, you want to get into your safe spot. You want to take those tornado precautions. This will rip through very quickly.
This circulation is moving to the north and is moving at about 35 miles per hour. So we're watching within the zone a lot of heavy rainfall. You're also watching just an ambient windy conditions, right? But then there is the debris as spotted on radar, and you were tracking it off to the north, a little bit to the west of north. We're tracking this towards McLeesfield. 1239, Pine Tops, 1244, Bullock's Crossroads, 1258, and then taking it outside, other warning, but to Rocky Mount, 108 if it holds together.
And the thing that scares me, Jen, is that this looks like it started to get that debris signature right as it crossed US 264.
Looks like there's another one that just popped up just to the east of there, just east of Farmville. So we are seeing this outer band starting to rotate. Yes. All right. So this one, Belvoir, Farmville, and Fountain goes until 1 o'clock local time.
And let's take a look at the velocity on this and see if we can see any indication. There you go, right outside of Farmville, to the east of Farmville. We are starting to see those opposing colors, the greens and the reds together. And then the additional one just to the north of 264 that's moving to the north as well.
So this is the one confirmed on radar with debris. This other rotation right here to the east of Farmville, as indicated, rotation. Make sure you get into your safe shelter immediately.
If you have diabetes, it's important to have confidence in the nutritional drink you choose. Try Boost Glucose Control. It's clinically shown to help manage blood sugar levels and contains high-quality protein to help manage hunger and support muscle health. Try Boost today.
Publishers clearing houses all across America.
August 31st, you could win $5,000 a week for life.
Oh, thank you. Enter now at PCH.com.
$5,000 a week for life.
Enter now at PCH.com.
Hi, Phil Swift here. When you need maximum coverage and sealing power, take it to the max with FlexMax. Your favorite Flex Seal products are now giant size. Don't worry, guys. Flex Tape Max is the super strong waterproof tape that can instantly stop giant leaks. With Flex Seal Liquid Max, you can cover huge areas for a strong waterproof seal. Now that's a lot of coverage. Oh no, that dam's gonna blow. Flex Paste Max is a thick rubberized paste that fills massive cracks and holes. Take it to the max with Flex Max.
Say hello to the new Athleisure. Sleek design, cloud-like comfort, athletic technology, and Italian leather. Get comfortable at wolfendshepherd.com.
2 out of 3 guys experience hair loss by age 35. Kinda scary. That's why I use Keeps. Keeps offers clinically proven treatments, and the sooner you start, the more hair you can keep. Get started for $1 a day at Keeps.com.
The Bissell Crosswave Cordless Max lets you vacuum and wash your floors at the same time. Dry messes, wet messes. It even freshens area rugs.
And when you buy Bissell, you help save homeless pets.
To learn more, go to BissellCrosswave.com.
This is what 30 minutes of boot camp tastes like. Come on, Peloton. Let it flow. Reach all the way up.
Check your vibe. It's time to grind, Peloton. Let's turn it up. Come on.
What's up, hustlers? Welcome to Peloton Outdoors. Let's get jogging.
Find the rhythm, baby. 1, 2, 1, 2. So many Peloton newbies on the leaderboard today. Welcome to the family.
Try Peloton classes free on the app. New members only. Terms apply.
Mike Rowe here, still in a ditch where I've agreed to remain until every American realizes that the water and sewer lines outside of their home are probably their responsibility. I'm kidding. I'll be out of here in 20 seconds. But look, if you got a problem with your pipes, things could get expensive, and you're going to wish you had a plan from HomeServe.
Let HomeServe do it for you with plans starting at just $7.99 a month. Go to homeserve.com or call now.
Your pipes, your responsibility. I'll be down here if you need me.
New projects means new project managers. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from a resume database. Claim your $75 credit when you post your first job at Indeed.com/home.
I love to watch the waves after a storm. The storm can be long gone, but the waves just keep going.
Get into the out there. The Weather Channel.
We want to get you to the latest breaking news where we have several tornado warnings in North Carolina right now. One of them, an observed tornado. So we want to get straight to that one. This is near the Pine Tops area. So we're talking about Macclesfield as well as Pine Tops in Edgecombe and Wilson counties. 1 p.m. is when until this warning goes to. So you want to pay close attention, and you want to take those tornado precautions because we have seen some indications that debris is being lofted into the air, and that's always an indication that potentially the tornado has hit something.
That's right. So this is observed by Doppler radar. The correlation coefficient is a piece of data that we use to see, is there debris in the atmosphere, something other than raindrops? And yes, indeed, that yellow spot that you see there just north of Spite's Bridge here, well north actually, just to the west of Fountain. In that area, that's where the debris was observed based on what the correlation coefficient is showing us. And so this area is tracking to the north. We're tracking it north, heading up towards crossing over Aspen Grove Church Road and then eventually Webb's Chapel Road.
And this is, again, observed. So if you are in this area, get to your safe spot. This still has a ways to go for this warning. And extending this out, Macclesfield definitely want to be in your safe place. That's just to the north of Webb's Chapel Road and eventually pushing just to the west of Pine Tops. This is not the only warning that we have out there right now. We want to go to the one just to the east of that. And that's where we're seeing another area of rotation just to the east of Farmville. That tornado warning for Greene and Pitt County until also 1 p.m. local time. This is radar indicated. No sign so far that this has hit something, but just as what we saw with the other one, Jen, it only takes a second.
It's certainly a tight circulation that we see on the radar velocity, indicating that rotation. And so we track this up to the north, and we can time it out for you, watching this as it goes through parts of Greene and Pitt counties, cities like Fountain and Cobbtown. You're within this warning. We're tracking the circulation, and we're watching this move to the northwest at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So it is moving along very quickly. So if you're in this warning, we want to make sure that you are in your safe shelter so that you are not at risk, because this will be moving fast.
And also in North Carolina, we want to keep our eyes on this tornado warning just to the north, because again, this has been observed. At that point, you have to get into your safe spot. Macclesfield, you're up next. And zooming in a little bit closer, eventually Rocky Mount, you are not in this warning, but I would go ahead and take those tornado precautions, get into that safe spot, the lowest level of your house, away from those exterior windows, doors, and walls, because this is a tight area of circulation. This is repeatedly look impressive on velocity with those reds and those greens very close together, pushing towards Webb's Chapel Road, eventually into Macclesfield, 1247, and St. Louis, North Carolina, 1251. Very dangerous storm.
Yeah, we're tracking this on the move, and it's embedded within an area of heavy rain as well as generally windy. And, just because we have a tropical system moving through. So it is going to be distracting in general with the kind of weather we have here. So if you are alerted that you are under this warning, want to make sure that you are getting into your safe shelter, interior room, putting as many walls and windows between you and the outside as possible. If you have a basement, that is always the safest place to be. But if you don't, an inside bathroom or closet are the safer places to be. Now, let's track this. You can see, again, all of this rain here. And let's take a look at that debris signature. This is the correlation coefficient, allows us to track any debris. Looks like just to the west of Macclesfield here near the Shallington's Mill Road area, 111. In that zone is where there is some debris that is being spotted based on Doppler radar.
And just to give you a little perspective about where this is in the state of North Carolina, this is about halfway between the city of Raleigh as well as Greenville, North Carolina. So right in the middle of that, right in some of the eastern bands of Tropical Storm Elsa, that's where we're watching these areas really start to spin. Got the spin of the whole system, and then you've got these tiny circulations, these tiny areas spinning. Edgecombe, Wilson counties, this is a tornado warning for you until 1 p.m. local time. So you still got quite a bit of this warning left and quite a bit of time that you need to be into that safe spot. Zooming in a little bit closer, if we can take another look at velocity, just so we can get what this rotation looks like. It doesn't look nearly as impressive as it did.
This is very typical of tornadoes within tropical systems, is that they spin up, they spin down, they evolve very quickly. Things happen in between radar scans. And so you just need to be paying attention. And obviously, if you're in a warning, you need to be in your shelter and just, watching the weather today. That other circulation, though, is still staying together, the one that is just to the north and east of Farmville here. And that warning, watching that area of rotation, that warning remains in effect until 1 o'clock local time. Belvoir, Farmville, Fountain, all in that. If we give you a sense of the broad view of what we're dealing with here. So there's this one band embedded within all of the rain, and we can zoom out and show you, sort of the extent of what's happening with these tornado warnings. That is lifting north, and it's heading and rotating towards the Rocky Mount area. You are not under a warning there in Rocky Mount, but we're going to keep close watch on that. And certainly I-95 travelers here. At the moment, there are no warnings on I-95, but this This is a tough area to be driving through right now.
And a lot of times when you start to see these areas spin up, it's very likely that we'll see a few more. We're getting into the afternoon. We're getting a little extra oomph from the atmosphere, and that really will get things going. We want to keep tabs on this, though. Rocky Mount, again, you're not in the warning, but this is headed in your direction. And if you're near the area of Farmville, we also have a warning for you as well.
Yeah, we'll share our home address for French fries.
Did you know you could get 5 more matches if you give your social security number?
No one really tries to be unsafe.
Wi-Fi's down. I'll try the neighbors.
But every time you give up info and privacy, you give up a little safety too.
I'm sure the site's fine, Mom. They just need a picture of your driver's license.
Norton 360 with LifeLock helps protect your devices, online privacy, and identity all in one. Opt into cyber safety at norton.com.
Mike Rowe here, still in a ditch where I've agreed to remain until every American realizes that the water and sewer lines outside of their home are probably their responsibility. I'm kidding, I'll be out of here in 20 seconds. But look, if you got a problem with your pipes, things could get expensive and you're going to wish you had a plan from HomeServe.
Let HomeServe do it for you with plans starting at just $7.99 a month. Go to homeserve.com or call now.
Your pipes, your responsibility. I'll be down here if you need me.
Tommy John is for women who value themselves and their comfort, who want comfortable bras and fabrics that are lightweight, breathable, and insanely soft. Bras that disappear under clothing while smoothing, supporting, and separating, that adjust for the perfect fit. Women who want underwear with no roll waistbands and no VPL. Wow. Look at me. You can trust our thousands of 5-star reviews because Tommy John knows comfort is a girl's best friend. Get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com.
Up here, success depends on the choices you make. But I know I've got this. And when it comes to controlling his type 2 diabetes, my dad's got this too.
With the right choices, you have it in you to control your A1C, and once-weekly Trulicity may help. Most people taking Trulicity reached an A1C under 7%, and it starts lowering blood sugar from the first dose by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Welcome to the new tomorrow, where it's not enough to do it alone, and working together means going all in. To move forward takes a different kind of technology partner, one who's always in your corner, and who understands that shared goals are the only ones that matter. And providing that kind of partnership is what we're built to do. Spectrum Enterprise.
Do you have a job? Do you have $136? If you do, we can sell you a new car today.
What about all these cars?
Yep, and many are available with no money down. Check out all of our Hondas, Toyotas, Kias, and Acuras online.
It's Ashley Home Store's Stars and Stripes event with new styles and more savings. Get up to 30% off. Plus, get an additional 10% off and pay no interest for 12 months. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Feels good to be home.
Our goal is to find that $1 million boulder.
I will dig till my hands bleed.
That's so sketchy, dude.
Anything can shut you down.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
A flash flood watch is in effect. Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. A few storms may be severe. High 85. Winds south at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms likely. Low 72. Rainfall near an inch. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We want to bring you the latest on tornado warnings in North Carolina. Right now, the observed tornado near the Pine Tops area, that warning has been allowed to expire, but we do want to zoom into the warning still ongoing. This is for just to the north of the Farmville area, Greene and Pitts County. But Jen, this area of rotation is about to move out of this warning, potentially right into the Pine Tops area again.
So watching this area as indicated by velocity, so you can see where the rotation is, and it's on this latest scan, not as evident actually right there, but just at the northern part of that warned area, and it's going to move north and just close actually to Pine Tops. So even though you're not under a warning at this time, pay attention. We'll see if another one gets issued if this is holding it together. This is within a whole area that is under a tornado watch until 3 o'clock this afternoon.
And Elsa continues to spin across North Carolina right now and bringing a lot of rain. Of course, those spin up tornadoes, wind, another factor too.
Yes, broad scale. Look at this because from Roanoke, Virginia to Virginia Beach and now north of there, we've got the outer fringes of this rain continuing. And even Wilmington, you know, you had gotten a nice break from all of your rain, but we're back into a few showers before all is said and done.
Flash flood watch out for many of these areas along I-95 due to the torrential tropical downpours. They're going to move in. On top of that, we have the wind and the spin ups, and then the impacts felt well outside the center of this, especially along the North Carolina coast.
So it's been picking up speed. Elsa's now moving at 20 miles per hour. And that probably will accelerate even more as it moves to the north and east. But that's not going to change the moisture that it's bringing with it and the potential that is there for having these really big rainfall rates. And that's what's going to bring the flash flooding concerns. If you get an inch or two an hour, if you get up into the New York City area, if you get 2 or 3 inches in 3 hours, that could cause some problems.
And that's falling on saturated soil up there. The wind, Wilmington, 40 to 50 miles per hour over the next few hours. Moving into Hatteras, the Hatteras Cape, anywhere along coastal North Carolina, the winds are really going to be ripping through. By tomorrow morning, it'll slowly start to calm down, but the beaches not going to be great for the next couple of days.
Just saw a report down at Tybee Island, actually in Georgia, that there's some rip currents off of the 7th Avenue or 7th Street beaches where the island makes a turn. So look, that's going to be the case up and down this area of coastline. A lot of beaches closed for swimming in here. Make sure you pay attention to those warnings.
Well, now we need to go to the Texas Gulf Coast because we have seen torrential downpours causing some serious problems. South Padre Island, this is where you're looking at right now. Look at some of that water. I mean, I can't believe people are still out here.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of rain, but if you're on vacation and you got a couple of hours or window here of beach time, you're going to take it, right? Let's show you how much rain that we have had because it has been tremendous and there's a lot of flooding happening. Actually, up from there to Corpus Christi and especially South Corpus Christi, roads are closed, intersections inundated. We've had more than a foot of rainfall.
And some places, Padre Island just outside of Corpus Christi, close to 18 inches of rain in just 3 days and expecting more.
All right, so this is what's expected to come. The moisture in the atmosphere here is really top of the charts. So it's tropical moisture, I mean, just like we see over with our tropical system. In fact, this might even be higher. The problem, or not the problem, but the factor is that the circulation is over land. So we're not talking about a tropical system making all this rain. It's just tropical moisture in place.
But it just brings the point that a storm doesn't need a name to be a really big deal. And this one is not named, but still bringing a lot of problems to Freeport, Victoria, down to Corpus Christi. Flooding is very likely all the way through tomorrow morning because it is still raining in these areas and there's more rain still to come.
You can get a sense for the circulation bringing in the moisture off the Gulf of Mexico. We have this big plume of moisture right here.
This is enormous.
We'll see if this makes the turn or if it goes into Louisiana because right now they're not in that flood risk. But if we get that inundation of rainfall, that would be a problem.
And it's areas from New Orleans, Lake Charles, Houston, all the way down to Brownsville that have seen repeated heavy rainfall events so far this year, and that is sparking quite a few problems across the Corpus Christi area, into Victoria, all the way up to Freeport, where we still have continual heavy rain. Corpus Christi getting a little bit of a break right now.
Well, but streams and creeks are up. So like the Oso Creek is one of the spots we're watching, and that's getting up to potentially major flood stage. And it's almost there. And so the concern is, even though the rain might be taking a break at this time, the rivers, the streams, the creeks are still rising.
It takes some time for that water to fall. Well, some storms like this coming into the Northeast with an incredible bolt of lightning struck the One World Trade Center. More than 30,000 people still awaiting for the electricity to be restored in New York State. That is some lightning right there.
Capture,
Wow.
Anthony Quintano. Thank you for that, man. All right, multiple times. It happens. Don't say lightning doesn't strike twice. It does. And maybe even a third time, because we have more storms tonight.
Well, we do have that front pushing through. It's going to be this front that is responsible for drawing up Elsa right into areas like New York City.
That's just a little pops of energy coming in. So, guys, get ready again. I know what a mess it was in Lower Michigan yesterday. We could have more storms coming your way. Pittsburgh already, some showers out there. Look at this line of storms. Cleveland,
Columbus,
extending back to Columbus, Ohio.
In the tri-state area, have to watch out for flash flooding, especially super saturated soil, a lot of lightning, and Elsa is up next.
And then Elsa comes up. Continuing coverage right here on the Weather Channel. Stay with us. You can always check us out on Roku.
This is what you've been training for. Your art cootery, your brunch shootery. Your friends all had the same idea. Fresh groceries and more. Free same-day delivery. Walmart Plus.
Keeping your oyster business growing has you swamped. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Claim your $75 credit when you post your first job at Indeed.com/promo.
Hi folks, Joe Namath here, and if you're on Medicare, this is important. You're now entitled to eliminate copays and get dental care, dentures, eyeglasses, prescription coverage, in-home aids, unlimited transportation, and home-delivered meals, all at no additional cost. Plus, your zip code may have coverage with the Give Back benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month.
I call to get dental, transportation, meals, and the Give Back benefit.
With this virus situation, I called to get everything I'm entitled to. I couldn't believe I was missing out on so many benefits.
With the uncertainty of the virus, you need to get everything you're entitled to. Millions of people have trusted the Medicare Coverage Helpline. You can too. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-346-4800. That's 1-800-346-4800 now.
The Bissell Crosswave Cordless Max lets you vacuum and wash your floors at the same time. Dry messes, wet messes. It even freshens area